ABC Sports presents College Football Today. This afternoon from Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida, it's the Hurricanes of Miami versus the Florida State Seminoles. And this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by the Pabst Brewing Company. Brewers of Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer, the real taste of beer. By St. Regis, the world leader in paper, packaging, lumber, and construction products. And by AC Delco, General Motors Corporation. Over 50 years of quality automotive replacement components. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a sun-drenched and sold-out Doak Campbell Stadium here in Tallahassee, Florida this afternoon, where an interstate rivalry between Miami and Florida State will take place. Over 51,000 fans will be on hand this afternoon. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Zabriskie. Welcome to another doubleheader day of NCAA action here on ABC. Following our game, you'll be seeing Herschel Walker and the Georgia Bulldogs against the University of Florida Gators from Jacksonville. Well, as far as the University of Miami is concerned, it's been somewhat of a good news, bad news week. First of all, of course, 1 week ago today here on ABC, they upset number 1 ranked Penn State. But then later in the week, they received word from the NCAA that they were going to be placed on a 2-year probation. Well, the probation obviously does not affect their television appearances. They're on TV today. They'll continue to be on TV. What it does affect, however, is there will be no postseason bowl appearance. They will also only be allowed to give out 20 scholarships instead of 30 scholarships next year. We'll be back to preview the two teams in a minute. Working as our expert commentator today, the former head football coach at Kansas, UCLA, and Georgia Tech, Pepper Rogers. And Pepper, in looking at Miami's record this year, they lost a couple of games, but they lost to a couple of teams that really were tough teams. Texas, of course, at Texas, and Mississippi State, which was on a roll at the time. But the last couple of ball games, as you can see, they have been playing quite well. Of course, their big win last week right here on ABC, the upset victory over Penn State. They play a multiple type of offense. It's a pro offense, really. If you've seen the Miami Dolphins play, you know what the University of Miami is going to do offensively. Well,
Coach Snellenberger brought in the Miami Dolphin offense. He hired Earl Marl to coach the quarterbacks, and they have a great young quarterback, of course, to execute. You can't run any type of offense unless you have a QB, and Jim Kelly is a fine quarterback. He throws the pro-type passes. He is a smart youngster. He sets up well. He does all the things you've got to do to be a good pro-type quarterback. Now, he also has outstanding, receivers that he throws the ball to. You see Jim sets up here, looks off the safety man, and then fires to Larry Brodsky, who makes a nice move, turns on the speed, and then goes into the end zone on an 80-yard touchdown pass against Penn State. Big play. He holds all the pass receiving records at the University of Miami. You can see he's got a good face. He's a tough youngster, catches the ball in the crowd, and when the chips are down, they'll throw that football to Larry. They have another fine receiver in Rodrigue. Now, he makes an outstanding catch here, keeps his feet in bounds, hangs on the football, and they're both outstanding players. Mike also has a brother who plays for Florida State. It should be an interesting matchup.
Defensively, Miami runs a 50 defense, as do most college football teams, and the key to their defense really is the big front three.
Well, they have a big front three. They rush the passer well, probably the finest defensive front three in the country. Nelson, Chickalo, who's playing great football, and Lester Williams. I think these youngsters are the key to their success in this ballgame.
That's a look at the Miami Hurricanes. We'll be back to look at Florida State in just a minute. In the AP. There are 2 losses, of course, coming at Nebraska and at Pittsburgh, a couple of places where it is very tough to win these days. But as you can see from the last 2 scores, their offense lately has been rolling, particularly last week. And one of the main reasons for that is the discovery of a new freshman tailback. He's really become a sensation, number 26, Greg Allen.
Well, Greg Allen is an outstanding freshman. He might be the next Herschel Walker. He can really run with a football, and he's given them a new dimension, because if you're going to win big football games, you got to have a running back who can make big plays like this. And Greg turns on the speed. He accelerates. He is a tough youngster when he's got the football. He's got a great stiff arm, and he will make some big plays for this Florida State football team. You can see he also is a very dangerous man in the open field stuff. I think when you have a great back and you get him the ball on a kickoff like this, you give him a chance to start out with a head of steam. And this Greg Allen, he makes a great move here, cuts back to the weak side, turns on the speed, and goes in the end zone for a 96-yard touchdown run. And I think that he might have a chance to do that again today, because he's an outstanding runner.
They also have a fine quarterback in Rick Stockstill.
Well, I like Rick Stockstill. He's a winner. And if the running game's going well, the way he throws the football will really help their football team. As you can see, he's a 3-step drop there, throws a nice quick slanting pass to Tony Johnson. I like that. But I like this also, the way he can scramble and move away from the rush. I think a quarterback, to be a winner, has to be able to move and get away from the rush, and he can do that, and that really helps their offense.
You know, defensively, they also run out of a 50 look, but it's a little bit different. Their philosophy is they want to free up the linebackers to make the tackle.
Well, Rowan Hesse can move with the football. They make big hits, and they really are the key to their whole defense.
Well, that's a look now at Florida State's the Seminoles of Florida State. Be sure to stay tuned now for NCAA college football, this big interstate rivalry between the Miami Hurricanes and the Florida State Seminoles, coming up here on ABC right after this message from your local stations. Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida. It's the Miami Hurricanes versus the Seminoles of Florida State. And this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Lowenbrow. When you want the taste of a truly great beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow. By Chevrolet, who invite you to see all the good things for 1982 at your local Chevy dealers. Chevy makes good things happen. By Texaco, who also brings you quality automotive products you can trust. And by the smokeless tobaccos, Skoal, Copenhagen, and Happy Days, enjoyed by millions of guys for tobacco pleasure without smoking. Welcome back to Tallahassee, Florida, and Doak Campbell Stadium, where the Miami Hurricanes and the Florida State Seminoles, ranked 13th and 14th by the Associated Press this week, are meeting in this big interstate rivalry. A sellout crowd on hand and perfect weather for football. Steve Zabriskie along with Pepper Rogers. And Pepper, what do you feel are going to be the keys for these two teams today in order to be successful in a ball game that most people feel is very close?
Well, it was a close football game last year, Steve. They played, and Miami shut down the Florida State running game. They gained about 30 yards rushing with the football. This year, Florida State has a much better running game. They've got a great back in Allen, and I feel that if Florida State's going to win the football game, of course, they have to move the football on the ground and make the big play off the passing game. It's very important.
Let's go down on the field now and look at the Miami Hurricanes as they come onto the field. They are 5-2. You see their head coach right there with them, Howard Schnellenberger, in his third year at the helm after spending many years as an assistant to Don Shula in the NFL and with the Miami Dolphins. And for that reason, Miami, particularly offensively, has a very golfing look about them.
Oh, well, yeah, you see Miami to win this football game, they've got to play very well up front. They have to make some plays in the secondary because of this versatile Florida State offense. On offense, when they have the football, they've got a great passing game, and they've got to make sure that they're moving the football without making a bad play.
Now the crowd becomes a little more excited as the Seminole on horseback picks up his war lance and gets ready to lead out the Seminoles of Florida State University. They, of course, are 6-2 on the year. They are ranked 14th by the Associated Press this week. Bobby Bowden is in his 6th year as the head football coach, picking up his 50th victory here at Florida State last week. His record now 50 wins and 16 losses. And when that Seminole warrior gets to the center of the field and throws that war lance into the head of the Seminole insignia that is at the 50-yard line, the 51,000 fans on hand here in Tallahassee are going to go crazy. This game is important to them, second only to the importance attached to their game against the University of Florida.
Well, this is an unusual state. When you have three big schools with such fine football teams, it really creates you don't know who to hate. I mean, you got Miami against Florida State, Miami against Florida. Here he goes, Seminoles against the Gators. It's a great rivalry.
As the captains come out to the center of the field, the Seminole is ready to declare a state of war. And now some 15,000 red and gold balloons are released as the captains meet at the center of the field for the coin toss. We'll return to Doak Campbell Stadium here in Tallahassee for the kickoff between the Hurricanes of Miami and the Seminoles of Florida State. Stay with us. With a game time temperature in the upper 60s and a negligible wind this afternoon, just a little bit of a breeze blowing out of the north, should not be much of a factor. Florida State will kick off. Miami has won the toss, and they have elected to receive. And you're looking at Mike Rendina, or you were, number 7, who is their freshman kicker. Mark Rush, 49, is back deep to receive, along with number 14, James Boone, and number 16, Albert Bentley. Rendina, a freshman from Pompano Beach, Florida. Line drive shot that will carry into the end zone. Mark Rush, number 49, bringing it out. And Rush is across the 20-yard line before he's tripped up. They'll mark it near the 21 or 22. 46, Mark Rodriguez, the brother of the Miami quarterback, made the tackle for Florida State. As now the Hurricanes will be on offense 1st and 10 with Jim Kelly, number 12, starting at quarterback out of East Brady, Pennsylvania. Chris Hobbs, number 33, will be the fullback, and you will see a number of running backs, including 46, Smokey Roan, for Miami. Larry Brodsky at one wide out, number 43, and Mike Rodriguez, the former quarterback, number 6, is the other wide receiver. 1st and 10 Miami. The ball just inside their own 22, and Kelly will put it up. A screen pass complete to Chris Hobbs. Hobbs is in trouble. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Number 38, Ken Rowe, the left side linebacker, a sophomore out of Cropwell, Alabama, the first to get to him. As we look at Miami quarterback, junior Jim Kelly. Offensively up front, Glenn Dennison, number 86, is the tight end. Bill Welch, number 63, will be the right offensive tackle. Mike Moore, the right guard, number 50. Don Bailey, number 61, is at center. We'll give you the other 2 linemen in a minute. 2nd down and 10, still at the 22. Smokey Roan out to the 24-yard line, and that is it. 51, James Gilbert, the senior nose guard from Miami, made the tackle. Lorenzo Smokey Roan carrying the football. As you look at the Florida State defense. Defensively, Florida State has given up almost 21 points per game. As you look at McLean, Futch, Gilbert, Carricker, and Corsi, the 5 up front in the 50 defensive alignment. 3rd down, 7 from the 24. Lots of time for Kelly. Intended for Rodriguez. It was too tall. Incomplete. Tracy Ashley defending on the play for Florida State. It'll be 4th down and 7, and the crowd loves it.
Seminoles are ready to play on defense. They're up for this game.
Into the game, Greg LaBelle, number 5, the junior from Danielson, Connecticut. And you see what he's done this year, punting the football. He also holds on extra points and placements for the kicker. Cedric Jones, number 41, has dropped back in a single safety as 10 men are on the line for Florida State, and they're coming. LaBelle kicks a high and relatively short kick. Jones does not call for the fair catch and is nailed at his own 40-yard line. A punt of 36 yards. Jack Fernandez, number 51, a linebacker, made the tackle on Cedric Jones. They'll mark it right at the 40. A 36-yard punt by LaBelle and no return. And with 13:29 remaining in the first quarter and no score, Florida State will go on offense for the first time. Stockstill, number 11, the senior from Fernandina Beach, Florida, leads them up and gives them, no, he has it on the option, rolling and keeping, picking up about 5 yards to the 45 before he slides out of bounds there. Making the hit, number 37, David Jefferson, a defensive back, and number 55, Isaiah West, tripped him up initially. It's a gain of 5. They mark it at the 45. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
He's a pretty good runner with the football, Steve. He's not a great one, but that was a nice fake, which gave him a chance to make a few yards there.
I really thought Allen had the football, and so did a lot of people, including many of the Miami defenders. Again, Stockstill faking to Allen and throwing, and it's complete at the 37-yard line of Miami. Tony Johnson, number 82, picking off the pass, getting 1 foot down in bounds before he went out at the 37. James Boone, number 14, was defending on the play.
Steve, that was a nice block by the fullback Whiting. I mean, when he came out here on the corner, he makes the fake in there to Allen. Fullback makes a nice block, and he throws on the move to the outside. Nice toss to Johnson going out of bounds.
1st and 10, Florida State. The pass again is complete. Stockstill getting short yardage down to about the 33-yard line. Again, it was Jamie Boone covering on the play. And it was Dennis McKinnon, number 6, who made the reception. Stockstill, the quarterback from Fernandina Beach. In the backfield with him, 27, Michael Whiting, who in fact has caught more passes than anybody on the team. And Greg Allen, the freshman sensation out of Milton, Florida. Dennis McKinnon, who caught that pass at one wide receiver. Phil Williams, 87, is the other. Allen's first carry of the afternoon, and he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, if that, as he was tripped up by Greg Zappala, number 65, a junior linebacker out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and some pretty impressive statistics, Pepper, as far as Greg Allen is concerned.
Well, he's got great statistics, but you don't have them unless you got a good offensive line.
Zeke Moat is starting at tight end. They will alternate. Barry Voltapelli at one offensive tackle. Ricky Render at the right offensive guard. The center is Tom McCormick. As on second down, the pass is complete to number 84, Sam Childers, the tight end, who is very near the first down marker. Greg Zappala again made the tackle on the play.
Steve, Coach Bowden said he was not going to play conservative football today like he did last year, and he is going out to win this football game. They've thrown every down but one, and I think they've hit them all.
Moat just came back into the game with the play. It is now fourth down and just inches to go, as Childers was very close to the marker, but not close enough. From the 28-yard line of Miami, fourth and about 6 inches. Allen almost fumbled the football. He has the first down, however, as he gets to the 22 of Miami. David Jefferson, 37 on the tackle for the Hurricane defense.
That was an unbalanced line, Steve, in short yardage. In the I formation, Miami did not shift their defense over, and they had an extra blocker because of the unbalanced line.
There's a look at what Greg Allen has done in just 3 ball games last week, setting those big records for freshmen against Western Carolina, and had, as you see, in addition to 322 yards, a 95-yard kickoff return. First and 10 from the 22 of Miami. Allen again. Inside the 15 to 13-yard line. 90, Tim Flanagan, the senior defensive end, made the tackle. But there's nothing fancy about that, Pepper. They just pitched it and came at him.
Steve, they blocked very well. They blocked the tackle on the weak side. They blocked the linebacker on the weak side. They blocked the outside linebacker. He got him made to hit, but they're blocking well. And that was a short side sweep into the open side end away from their flanker set. And it's a tough play to run, but they blocked it extremely well.
You see Bobby Bowden on the sidelines of Florida State. From the 12-yard line, second down, 1 yard to go. Stock still. Final touchdown.
He can scramble, and when you can scramble like that, move away from the rush. And I was watching the wide receiver. He was covered, and all of a sudden Stockstill started running. They turned him loose, touchdown, and I like the way he caught that football. When you're in the open, what you do is you make sure you catch the ball. And you can see Rick right here takes a move, darts the outside, looks like he's going to run, he fires the football. He made sure he caught the ball. Nice play.
Sophomore Tony Johnson with the reception, and now Rendina is on to attempt the extra point. It's blocked. Blocked by Miami. The extra point is no good. It is 6-0 in favor of Florida State with 10:39 remaining in the first quarter of play. We'll return to Tallahassee in just a minute. Bobby Bowden, whose Florida State Seminoles have jumped out to a 6-0 lead here early in the first quarter on an impressive drive, Pepper.
I like the way they move the football. Bobby said he was coming out, throwing the football, making some moves. That extra point might be a big play, though. When you don't make your first extra point, it gives the other team a lot of incentive. And watch for Miami to come battling back.
Rendina sent to kick off. Mark Rush again, the deep back. A line drive that Rush will take about 3 yards deep and not return. It'll be first and 10, Miami at their own 20-yard line, their second offensive possession of the day. Again in the backfield, it'll be Jim Kelly at quarterback, number 12, Lorenzo Smokey Roan, number 46, Chris Hobbs, number 33, and Brodsky and Rodrigue, the 2 wideouts, as we look at the 60-yard scoring drive for Florida State. First and 10, Miami at their own 20. Smokey Roan, right at the line of scrimmage, may have even lost a yard as the Seminole defense was there. Jarvis Coursey, number 64, the left defensive end, the first to get to him, along with number 51, James Gilbert, the nose guard.
That was a big league hit, Steve. That was the kind that makes them know that you're in the football game. Roan takes the football. I like that name, Smokey. Smokey takes the ball here and makes a move. He darts up, but he is met by Corsi and by Gilbert, and it's nothing.
Second down, 10.5 yards to go. Kelly to Rodrigue. It's complete at the 25 and out of bounds. A gain of about 5.5 yards. James Harris, number 33, ran Rodrigue out of bounds. It'll be third down and 5 yards to go. Rodrigue, a former quarterback a couple of years ago. He's a senior now. And as we mentioned earlier, his brother Mark is a reserve defensive end for Florida State. Both of them right here in Tallahassee. Natives of this city where Florida State is located. Third down 5, Miami at their own 25. It's complete to Roan, and Roan has the first down and pounds his way out to the 35 before Ken Rowe, number 38, the inside linebacker, makes the tackle. It's a first down for Miami at their own 35.
That was a well-designed pass. He hit the back out of the backfield. I think what Miami's got to do in this ball game is, as it develops, they got to hit the short man underneath.
The Florida State defense, as you look at them there. Third and 5. And it's complete and should be enough for the first down. Chris Hobbs, number 33, making the reception at the 41-yard line. Harvey Clayton, number 24, and Ken Rowe, 38, were covering on the play. But it's a Miami gain to the 40.5.
Kelly sets up, and he sets up at about a 7-step drop here. Gets set, fires the football. Hobbs makes a nice catch. I mean, he just cradles that football in, and I like people who do that because they catch the ball first, and then they don't miss them that way.
I believe I said it was enough for the first down. It is not. It is second and 5. Smokey Roan trying to get outside, tripped up and knocked down after a gain of 1. Jarvis Corsi, number 64. You see him there making the tackle. Corsi, a senior from Gray, Georgia, at 6'4" and 220.
Smokey's got to make sure he goes down the field, not try to go sideways like that. That's a tough play right there, and they sort of bumped him to the outside, but that makes it much easier to tackle a person when he's running sideways as opposed to down the field.
It is third down and 4 yards to go. Miami at their own 41. Florida State leading 6-0 here in the first quarter. Complete for the first down to Smokey Roan once again, and Roan is to the 49 of Miami. James Harris, 33, was again the tackler, along with 83, Ron Hester, the senior linebacker, who's the leading tackler for the Seminole defense.
They're hitting the seams with those backs. As you can see, Kelly here fires the football to the back in the seam. They're putting people to the outside, people down the middle, and their backs are hitting the seams and turning into the open area, and Kelly's finding them.
That's the second first down for Miami today. A little bit of preliminary movement by Gilbert, the nose guard. Flags are down as Mark Rush carries the football, as Gilbert appeared to have jumped too soon. Gilbert also made the tackle on the play. And you see the indication, offside, from referee Tommy Miller against Florida State. Our officials today, Tommy Miller, the referee, the linesman Hunter Jackson, Mike Looney is the field judge, the umpire Denny Riggs, line judge Joe Pipkin, and the back judge is Tom Rose. Let's listen to Tommy Miller.
Offside, red, first down.
That moves the ball into Florida State territory, just outside the Seminole 45. And as Tommy Miller indicated, it is a first and 10 for Miami at that point. Their first venture into Florida State territory today. Lots of time. And complete over the middle to number 20, Rocky Belk, a junior wide receiver. And Belk has another Miami first down as it's at the 25 of Florida State.
That was a square-in pattern with Belk coming across the middle. Florida State's playing their defensive people a little off the line of scrimmage here, and then he fires that football right across the middle, makes a nice catch. It's called a square-in, meaning the wide receiver goes down and plants his foot and then runs square across the field as the other wide man clears the zone for him.
Kelly now 6 out of 7 passing for 50 yards. First and 10 Miami from the 25 of Florida State. And Kelly, intended for Brodsky, is incomplete. Harvey Clayton, number 24, was defending on the play. And Larry Brodsky, whose father is one of the offensive coaches at Miami, a senior out of Hialeah, could not hold on. It'll be second and 10. Miami's offense this year, averaging almost 29 points per game and over 350 yards per game in total offense. Second down 10. Flipping it out of the backfield to Mark Rush. Rush gets a block on the corner and gets a couple of yards as he gets out near the first down marker, and inside the 20. They'll mark it at about the 16.5. Ron Hester, number 83, ran him out of bounds.
That was a quick screen to the tailback out of the I formation. And, you know, in college football, you can block downfield if the ball is a screen pass behind the line of scrimmage. And they had a chance to put people downfield and help him out on that particular play. It was a nice-looking, well-executed play.
It is third down, about a yard and a half to go. Miami at the 16.5 of Florida State. Mark Rush does not get it. Number 38, Ken Rowe, one of the inside linebackers, trips him up short of the first down marker. He gained perhaps a yard to the 15. But it will be now fourth down and a little less than 1 yard to go.
That was another east-west play there, which gave Florida State a chance to knock him off. Rowe made a nice play. I think they'll pound it right up the gut this time, Steve. I don't think they'll run sideways.
I would have to agree with you, Pepper. The shortest distance is straight ahead, and they've got some big backs in there now. And now Kelly says he cannot hear, and he wants a timeout. Referee Tommy Miller indicated it was an official's timeout. And I want to tell you, there were 51,000 on their feet here for this fourth down play.
Well, you know, when the quarterback can't hear, he's supposed to turn to the official and ask, and if the official says no, then he has to go back and snap the football. Well, I think right there what happened was, I think that when he looked at the defense, it might not have been something that they had practiced against. You see, in practice, you go out and what you do is you look at a defense, you say, this is a short yardage defense, and then you get ready to run a play that you know will work or hope will work against that defense. And sometimes you come out and they're in a different one, and then, of course, Kelly has to go over the sideline and ask coach what.
You can see referee Tommy Miller over there talking to head coach Howard Schnellenberger and saying that he did indicate that it was his timeout. And hopefully he will give us a clarification as to whether or not Miami has been charged with the timeout. His initial indication was that it was his timeout.
I've never seen a referee's timeout where the quarterback got to go over the bench, though.
That's right. No.
But I haven't seen everything.
I certainly haven't either. Now they have charged Miami with a timeout. So it was a Miami timeout. It is still fourth down, less than a yard to go, outside the 15 of Florida State. Quarterback sneak, Kelly appears to have enough. They'll mark it near the 14, and the referee indicates it is a first down for Miami. That is their fourth first down of the day. Gary Fux, number 79, a senior defensive tackle from Ocala, Florida, made the tackle. They mark the football just inside the 15 as we look at it again.
That's a nice charge by the offensive line. And that's a great call on short yardage. I mean, that's a straight shot. Quarterback doesn't have to hand the football off. Good call, good play, well executed.
First and 10, Miami. Now from the Florida State 15. Chris Hobbs tripped over his own man and was knocked down by number 60, Scott McLean, a senior defensive end out of Claremont, Florida. As Florida State's left side of the defensive line stuffed that play very well.
Well, Miami has not made a lot of yards this year rushing the football. They use the run to sort of tie in with their passing game. Their short passing game is their option-type football, and Florida State's not giving them anything in the run.
Gain of perhaps a half yard on the play. It's second down, still about 10 yards to go. The blitz is on. Gilbert has Kelly and jumps him, but Kelly got the ball off in time, and it's incomplete. A penalty marker is down, however, as you look at Jarvis Corsi, who was covering the intended receiver. 51, James Gilbert, the nose guard, was in there very quickly. And we'll get the indication from referee Tom Miller.
Pass was completed behind the line of scrimmage. No foul.
Disregard the flag.
What did he say?
He said the pass was completed behind the line of scrimmage. I thought the pass certainly was not completed.
Are we watching the same game as he's watching? That was, I mean, that pass was not.
I think what he means is it was a mistake that they dropped the flag.
All right.
It is now 3rd down and 10, just inside the Florida State 15. The pitch back to Mark Rush. Rush trying to cut it up top. Inside, does not get back to the original line of scrimmage. May have lost about a half a yard. Number 30, Larry Harris, the weak safety, was up very quickly, along with linebacker 83, Ron Hester.
That's what you call a fooling call. It's 3rd down and 11 for a passing team, and they run a sweep. Sometimes that works, and obviously sometimes it doesn't, but a little surprised that they would run the ball on 3rd down 11 as well as they throw the football.
Number 1, Dan Miller, who's a senior out of Clewiston, Florida, and their place kicker is on to attempt a field goal. He's 13 out of 18 this season. It'll be from the 22, which will make it a 32-yard attempt. And it's good. Dan Miller with a 32-yard field goal has put Miami on the board with 4 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It is now Florida State 6 and Miami 3. Florida State's Bobby Bowden on the near sideline as he sees his Seminoles leading 6-3 now here in the first quarter. Dan Miller will kick it off, and Billy Allen, number 31, is back deep to receive. Along with him, Mike Whiting and Cedric Jones are the 2 up backs. Miller kicks it into the end zone. Billy Allen tries to field it, cannot. It rolls out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10. Florida State at their own 20. Billy Allen, no relation to Greg. Also a freshman, however, from Cleveland, Ohio. Stockstill in at quarterback. In the backfield with him, 26 Allen, 27 Whiting. First and 10, Seminoles at their own 20. Stockstill faking. Now they close in on him as time runs out. 73 Lester Williams and 71 Tony Chickalo, the middle guard. Chickalo and the left defensive tackle Williams sack him for a loss back inside the 15.
You know, when you're throwing a long pass like he was trying to do that time, if they're not open, you've either got to throw the ball away quickly or you got to run a little quicker than that, because you can't hold people like Chickalo and Lester Williams out forever.
Miami's front 3 are really the strength of their defense. 2nd down, 17 yards to go. Mike Whiting, the fullback, getting it out across the 15, getting back some of the yardage. Number 73, Lester Williams, again pulling him down. They'll mark it at about the 16-yard line, but it'll be now 3rd down and 14 yards to go. Whiting, a senior from Largo, Florida. On 3rd down and 14. Stockstill with good protection. And it is incomplete. 2 Miami defenders are there. The crowd doesn't like it, but no flag goes down as Phil Williams, number 87, was the intended receiver. Scott Nicholas and Jamie Boone were both there defending on the play for Miami. It'll be 4th and 14.
All right, here's Stockstill back to throw the football. The Florida State fans thought this was pass interference. Let's take a look at it. Throws the ball on an outside cut, and from this viewpoint, I would say it was a good defensive football player, good call by the officials, and now Florida State's got the punt of it.
Senior Ron Stark, one of the best in the nation, averaging 44.4 yards per kick this year, will punt it away. Lawrence Thompson, number 22, is deep. And that kick will bound on about the 45 and go out of bounds in Miami territory at about the 44-yard line. A punt of 40 yards and no return for Miami, but they'll have pretty good field position at their own 44, trailing Florida State 6-3 when we return to Tallahassee.
Next, sophomore tailback sensation Herschel Walker leads top-ranked Georgia against Florida in a national joust. A fiery NCAA football contest. Next.
The the Seminole. And if you were with us for the opening of the game, you know what he did to this crowd this afternoon. That's a regular feature here. 1st and 10. Miami at their own 44. It's complete to Mark Rush out of the backfield. And Rush is into Florida State territory. And it picks up about 9 yards to the 47 of Florida State before he's run out of bounds by Harvey Clayton, number 24. A good pickup on 1st down of 9 yards. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Here's Mark Rush going in motion, and they throw him a little tall screen out there, and they have the 2 wide receivers blocked for him, and it's a pretty good-looking football play. And when you take and put your man in motion and you don't make an adjustment, obviously he's open out there, and you got to cover him.
2nd down, 1 yard to go. Kelly to throw again. Firing it over the middle, complete to Rodriguez at the 25-yard line of Florida State. Another 1st down for Miami, and Larry Harris, number 30, the weak safety, a sophomore out of Gainesville, had to make the tackle on senior wide receiver Mike Rodriguez.
That's the square-in pattern again, probably the toughest pattern that people are throwing today, where the wide man breaks across the middle. But it's a tough throw and a tough catch because you got bodies coming at you all the time, and you got to have a lot of nerve, and you got to have a lot of concentration, and Rodriguez has both.
A gain of 22 yards and a 1st down at the Florida State 25. It's complete to his tight end, number 86, Glenn Dennison, and Dennison struggles forward for yardage and picks up about 7 or 8 as he gets it inside the 20 before Harvey Clayton, number 24, and Scott McLean, number 60, the left defensive end, combined to make the tackle. Dennison, a sophomore out of Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, the Miami tight end. Very effective so far today with 10 of 13 completions for 97 yards as we look at Nebraska-Oklahoma State in the 1st quarter. On 2nd down and 3, Smokey Roan falling forward short of the 15-yard line. They'll mark it at the 16, and he'll be about a yard short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and about 1. Ken Rowe, 38, and 79, Gary Futch on the tackle.
This is a isolation play with Smokey hitting in there. Nice defensive play there by Rowe. Got him in the backfield. 3rd down and about 1. I like the way that Florida State plays their linebackers. Even though they're deep, they step up in that hole and hurry.
They do fill well, which is important if you're going to play that deep behind the defensive line. On 3rd down and 1, Kelly to pass. It's batted down by Jarvis Corsi, number 64, the senior out of Gray, Georgia, who really is upset with himself that he didn't pick that one off.
Oh, he would have loved that. They were trying to hit the fullback in the flat on 3rd down and 1 off a tight wingback set. They wanted to make him think they were going to run the football. It's a nice call, except that the lead blocker didn't get to the man to get his hands down. The lead blocker's got to cut him so that he can't jump up in the air like that, and it just didn't get there.
6'4" Jarvis Corsi batting that one down as Miami will go for it on 4th and 1 from the 16 of Florida State. Speedy Neal in at fullback, and he'll be very close. Robert Speedy Neal was pushed backward by Ron Hester on a fine tackle. James Gilbert, the nose guard, was also submarining in there. And from where they've marked the football, it appears to be enough. It is a Miami 1st down.
I like his hit by Hester. He puts his hat right between the numbers. It's a 1st down, and as he tries to go, but the hat is placed right where it should be on the numbers, and he does not go forward. His momentum made the 1st down, but it was a great hit by Hester.
Hester weighs 220. Robert Speedy Neal, the fullback, weighs 250. 1st and 10, Miami from the 15-yard line. Tipped and incomplete, intended for Rodriguez. Number 30, Larry Harris, the weak safety, almost picking off another pass of Jim Kelly's, but it's incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10 yards to go, still at the Florida State 15. Kelly's come close 3 times to having balls picked off.
Well, Kelly's back to pass. He's throwing a drop-back tight pass. He's putting his backs out, and he makes the throw. And actually, I thought Harris had this football. He tries to lay it over his head, but he's up in the air, and he just dropped it.
2nd down and 10. Kelly to pass once again. Flipping it over the middle to the middle screen. Speedy Neal, the fullback. Neal running hard down to the 5-yard line. He'll be short of the first down by about a half a yard, depending on where they mark the football. And they're going to mark it very carefully. Number 23, Tracy Ashley, and number 38, Ken Rowe made the tackle.
Well, here's the screen up the middle, and it's a different type of screen because most people screen to the outside. This time they let everybody come, and they give the ball there to Speedy. I love his names, Speedy and Smokey. Speedy goes up the middle, 250 pounds, and didn't quite make the first down, but it's close in it there, Steve, about a foot.
Third down and about a foot to go.
All right.
Kelly now 11 of 16 for 106 yards passing. We're still in the first quarter. Time, however, is running out. And that is the end of the first quarter of play. They'll have to move all the way down to the other end of the field. And as we'll return for the second 15 minutes of action here at Doak Campbell Stadium, it is 6-3 Florida State over Miami. Welcome back to Doak Campbell Stadium here in Tallahassee, Florida. Steve Zabriskie along with Pepper Rogers as now on third down and goal, or rather 1/2 yard to go. Jim Kelly with a quarterback sneak may be very close. 83 Ron Hester was in there to stop him, along with Gary Futch and a few other Florida State defenders. And it is enough for the first down. They'll mark it right at the 4-yard line. It'll be first and goal for Miami. They are trailing Florida State 6-3, and we are just underway here in the second quarter. Speedy Neal and Mark Rush are in the backfield behind Kelly. It is Rush. Rush diving for perhaps a yard to the 3-yard line is all. Gary Futch, 79, again making the tackle. It'll be second down and goal as they mark it at the 3. Actually, it's at the 2-yard line. They mark it at the 2. They've got the big backs in there with Rush and Neal. And now they make a change as they bring Smokey Roan, 46, in at halfback, along with Robert Speedy Neal at fullback. Neal diving very close. Appears to be a little short of the goal line. However, they'll mark it at about the 1/2-yard line, where it'll be about third down and goal.
They bring in their power backfield, and they just sort of slug it in the middle. Great isolation block, and it's the kind of football play that you got to run down on the goal line. You got to run north and south, right in the end zone, and lead through the hole. That was a good-looking play.
And again, you saw number 83, Ron Hester, there to make the tackle for Florida State. Third and goal. Kelly trying to sneak it. He won't go anywhere. He is really stacked up. James Harris, 33, saved the day as Kelly was about to slide off the pile. Harris came up and pushed him back. Gary Futch, number 79, again was in there along with Jarvis Coursey, 64, to stop the play.
You know, when you're a coach, the greatest play in the world runs a quarterback sneak, except when it works. And the alumni hate that when it doesn't work quarterback sneak. But they're going for it here. Exciting moment.
They lost about a 1/2 yard. It's back to the 1-yard line. Fourth and goal from the 1. Rush diving, touchdown. Mark Rush at 6'3" and 210, diving over the pile for a Miami touchdown, and it is now 9-6 in favor of Miami.
Mark Rush goes over the top, and that's what you have to do on the goal line. You see a little gap there. He probably didn't have to dive, but that is the safest way to do it, because then that way penetration doesn't get you. He goes right over the top. Touchdown for the Hurricanes. Great looking play.
There's Rush, who blocks on special teams. Danny Miller in to attempt the extra point. The punter, Greg LaBelle, holding. That is perfect. Miller now 12 out of 12 for extra points this season. 12 minutes and 46 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Miami has come back to take the lead. It is 10-6 over Florida State.
You can enjoy great NCAA football doubleheader action next Saturday on ABC. No matter where you are.
There's the Miami scoring drive that has given the Hurricanes the lead after they trailed 6-0, blocking the extra point following the Florida State touchdown in the first quarter. A field goal and now a touchdown dive by Mark Rush from the yard out has given them a 10-6 lead. Miller will kick it off. And back deep to receive is number 31, Billy Allen, along with Mike Whiting and Cedric Jones. Miller's pick, heading for the end zone again. And Billy Allen will not return it. From about 2 yards deep, the touchback will make it 1st and 10. Florida State at their own 20. The Seminoles want to get the football back because as you look at the time of possession at the bottom of the screen, in the first quarter of play, Florida State had the ball for only 4 minutes and 17 seconds. And as you can see, the yardage very much in favor of Miami. That was should have been 112 total yards, not 172. Florida State 1st and 10 from their own 20. Faking to Allen. Stockstill rolling. Gets a block. Fires. Incomplete, out of bounds. The reception was made by number 6, Dennis McKinnon, but they say he was out of bounds. It'll be incomplete. And 2nd and 10 from the 20.
The pass intended for Dennis McKinnon, covered by Ron Bellinger, number 4.
Here we see it's a play-action pass, and they've been very effective with this all year. He actually had a chance to run with the football and make 4 or 5 yards, but he throws the ball, and he just, both feet are out of bounds, and it doesn't count. But it was a nice-looking play.
2nd and 10. Pitch to Allen. The reverse. Coming around is Cedric Jones. Cedric has a blocker, splits the defenders, and gets out to about the 28. It'll be short of the 1st down, but a gain of 8 before Fred Marion, number 31, the fine free safety for Miami, made the tackle in the secondary as Cedric Jones came in at a wide receiver position and took the end around.
That was sort of sneaky, wasn't it? He's not a wide receiver. He's a running back. I like plays like that. They sneaked him in at a wide receiver position, and Cedric was the best running back probably in the state of Georgia last year, and he's going to be a good one, but he was a wide receiver that time.
2nd down, 2 yards to go. Stockstill firing on 3rd and 2. It was, and it's complete. Number 87, Phil Williams with a fine catch. Scott Nicholas, 66, hit him immediately, but it's enough for the 1st down as Florida State converts on 3rd and 2 out to the 34.
It's a 3-step drop. That means it's a short pass. He takes the ball and actually fires it underneath the defender's arms, and it's a nice catch for the 1st down. Tough throw.
There's Williams. Receiver on 1st and 10. Penalty marker is down. As carrying the ball is number 20, Ken Burnett, who throws the halfback pass, and it's complete at the 34-yard line of Miami. Phil Williams again with a diving reception as Burnett came in at fullback and threw the halfback option pass.
He was in motion, though. I watched it. He, when the ball, right before the ball was snapped, he moved. You see him move right there, and they called the play back, and it was his play, and he was a little nervous, and makes a nice throw. I mean, probably a better catch than throw, but he did move before the snap of the football.
Fred Marion thought he had that one all the way. Williams came out of nowhere and picked it off, but it all goes for naught as you look at Williams going back to the huddle. We'll get the indication from referee Tommy Miller.
They have motion by the red, 1st down.
That moves the football back inside the 30 to the 29-yard line of Florida State. It is now 1st down and 15 yards to go. Stockstill gives to Whiting on a delay. Whiting with a good hold and gets out to the 40-yard line. Number 93, Greg Brown, a junior linebacker out of Woodbridge, Virginia, making the tackle.
Number 14.
Along with number 14, Jamie Boone, coming up from the secondary. They mark it right at the 40-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Here's a quick draw for the up position by the offensive lineman, and then make a nice block turnout. The halfback leads through the hole, and Whiting runs with tilt and makes some yardage. Tough run, like that.
2nd down, 4 yards to go. Stockstill eluding the pressure. The ball is tipped and incomplete. Number 55, Isaiah West, tipped the football. Whiting took a shot after the play was over. He was the intended receiver, and the fans wanted a penalty flag. None was thrown.
Isaiah West, number 55.
What happened on this play was that actually Miami had it covered. Stockstill couldn't get the ball to Whiting out there because the defensive outside linebacker or defensive end had him and wouldn't let him go. And when you won't let a man go, he can't catch the ball. Then he finally had a chance first man, but it was in the game.
Third down and 4. Florida State at their own 40. Stockstill. Plenty of time. In and out of the hands of Phil Williams and incomplete. Fred Marion blasted him just as the ball got there. Jamie Boone was also defending on the play. The incompletion will make it 4th down and 4. And Florida State will have to give it up once again.
Toughest play in football is when you're a wide receiver going across the middle and the quarterback holds the ball just a second too long and a safety man like Marion. Miami has 106 yards passing and Florida State only 45.
Number 3,
Lawrence Thompson, number 22, is dropped back deep. The senior Ron Stark is also a decathlon man in track and field. And as we mentioned earlier, one of the top punters in the nation takes the bounding snap and gets it away. And it's a beauty. Thompson back at the 10. Fumbles. Florida State recovers.
That's athletic ability by the Florida State football team. I mean, that was some play. Stark made a great play to get that ball out.
John McLean, number 86, made the recovery, a sophomore out of Claremont, Florida. A 50-yard punt by Stark, but we have a penalty marker down. It is illegal procedure against Miami. The Seminoles of Florida State, trailing 10-6, will have excellent field position because of this fumble by Lawrence Thompson.
That was just a cool play by Thompson. He had the ball, and it looked like he was watching it. It went right through his hands. You know that left-handed kicker has a different spiral on the football.
That's an interesting point because Stark is right-handed, but he punts with his left foot.
Yeah, and it makes it comes down differently than what you're used to catching in practice.
You see the ball placed at the 11.5-yard line. The officials are having a conference near the near sideline, which is the reason for the stoppage in play. And Tommy Miller will give us the indication once again. Here it is, the illegal procedure.
By Miami, it was a fumble down here. It would be Florida State's ball, 1st and goal.
Thank you, Tommy.
I saw that.
I think we had that figured out.
1st down, Seminoles.
I love his accent, though. He's got a great Southern accent.
Reminds me of somebody else I know. Coach Pepper Rogers.
I like it. 1st down for the Red.
I don't know what the conference was about, but nonetheless, the play stands. The penalty obviously refused. It is 1st and 10 from the 11.5-yard line of Miami. Jones. Greg Jones will lose about a yard. Good defense by the Miami Hurricanes. Number 93, Greg Brown, along with number 37, David Jefferson, preventing freshman tailback Greg Jones from getting outside.
Greg Allen.
Greg Allen, excuse me.
I hate to correct my sidekick, but do the same for me if I call him Greg Jones. His name is really Greg Allen, and he's good. They're running an unbalanced line a lot of my picks when they're running football. That's what that was for Florida State.
I must have been thinking of Cedric Jones.
Correct.
It is 2nd down and 11 as Allen lost a yard. Stockstill throwing into the end zone for Dennis McKinnon, incomplete. Defending on the play was Rodney Bellinger, number 4. The pass was perhaps a little bit overthrown, and McKinnon could not come down with it. It'll be 3rd down and 11. The ball still just outside the 12-yard line of Miami.
Mr. or Mrs. Onder, O-N-D-E-R. Please call home.
Whiting and Allen are still in the backfield behind Stockstill.
Sidekick. Do the same for me if I call him Greg Jones. His name is really Greg Allen, and he's good. They're running an unbalanced line a lot of my picks when they're running football. That's what that was for Florida State.
I must have been thinking of Cedric Jones.
Correct.
It is 2nd down and 11 as Allen lost a yard. Stockstill throwing into the end zone for Dennis McKinnon, incomplete. Defending on the play was Rodney Bellinger, number 4. The pass was perhaps a little bit overthrown, and McKinnon could not come down with it. It'll be 3rd down and 11. The ball still just outside the 12-yard line of Miami.
Mr. or Mrs. Onder, O-N-D-E-R. Please call home.
Whiting and Allen are still in the backfield behind Stockstill. into the end zone again. McKinnon has it, but he was out of bounds. Again, Rodney Bellinger was defending on the play, and Dennis McKinnon made the reception, but out of bounds. It'll be 4th and 11 from the 12-yard line, and the field goal unit is coming onto the field for Florida State.
I believe Coach Bowden's going to tell Stockstill to take the ball next time and run and make some yards. I think he's got a little better chance to run with the football and make some yards off that play-action pass, because they're covering it pretty well, but he is getting on the corner with the football.
Freshman Mike Rendina, who is 8 of 11 in field goals, is on. Bad snap. He got the hole down. It's blocked and picked up by a Florida State player who's trying to run it in, but he does not pick up enough for the first down. 64 Jarvis Corsi. No, I think it's number 84. Sam Childers, the tight end, picked up that football and tried to run it in, but he couldn't. A bad snap from center. Miami will have the football at their own 18-yard line, leading 10-6.
They addressed it a little differently. One in a coat and tie. Coach Snellenberger there, and Coach Bowden dressed out in his Florida State outfit. Steve, I'd be a little concerned if I was Coach Bowden there about my center snaps. They had the extra point blocked, and they had a bad snap on the punt, and then they also had a bad snap on the field goal attempt there. You just can't do that and win big ball games like this.
No, and they've been having problems with that off and on all season. 1st and 10 Miami from their own 18-yard line. They lead 10-6. Intended for Rodriguez, intercepted. Picked off by number 30, Larry Harris. And Harris brings it back inside the 40-yard line of Miami.
He finally got one. He's been waiting to get one all day long. That ball was tipped, and he made a nice interception. You can see Kelly's back to throw the football on 1st down, and he's trying to go long with the ball, sort of a slide pattern down the sideline, and it's tipped, and Harris makes a great interception, turns, and I like the way he runs the football back. He turns it up the field, and he challenges the defenders here, who used to be the offenders, and it's a big play for Florida State.
Lenny Chavers, number 68, the nose guard, was putting the pressure on quarterback Jim Kelly. 1st and 10, Florida State. Whiting getting it inside the 35. They'll mark it at about the 20 or the 33-yard line.
Here we have Miami with 2 turnovers and Florida State with 0. And Florida State's been close with the football, but they can't get the ball into that end zone against this tough Miami defense.
It's a gain of 6. It's 2nd down and 4 from Miami 33. Miami leading 10-6 here in the 2nd quarter. Allen stacked up short of the 30. They'll mark it at the 31. A gain of 2. It'll be 3rd down and about 2 or 3 yards to go. Scott Nicholas, 66 on the tackle for Miami. At the 31-yard line, 3rd down, and really a long 3 remaining. 8 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. Allen again has the 1st down. Carries tacklers inside the 20, fumbles, but they're going to say he was down at the 15. Allen coughed up the football, but they'll mark it at the 15-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Florida State. No. Now one official is calling it a fumble. Referee Tommy Miller trying to get it straight as he listens to both officials. We've had more conferences here already than we have in most full ball games.
I wish they'd cut the mic on down there on the field so we could hear what they're saying in those conferences.
Well, let's listen now.
I have signaled erroneously. It will be Florida State's ball this way.
I love referee Miller. He's got their ball this way. You know, that play looked like, though, Steve, the kind of running that we saw Allen doing in the pregame show. He looked like a real back, and he had some blocking, and he ran with great toughness and nice-looking play.
Allen, a 185-pound freshman who has rewrote the freshman running back record book in the last couple of weeks. Stockstill completes it to Zeke Mowat, the tight end, and Mowat is inside the 10-yard line. Rodney Bellinger knocks him down. But it'll be second down and about 4 yards to go from the 9.
All right, here's Allen carrying the ball on a sort of a power play off tackle here. He's got nice blocking, and you can't run without blocking. He makes a nice move to the inside, but he's finally wrapped up here, and this is where we had the play that came up, and it looks from this angle that he's down on the ground, then the ball comes out. But if I were Miami, I'd want it too, but they didn't give it to him.
It was close.
It was close.
To say the least, it was close. Second down, 4 yards to go. Allen again, trying to get outside. He'll lose a yard back to the 10-yard line. Rodney Bellinger and 65 Greg Zappala coming up to make the tackle on Greg Allen. It'll be third down, and now about 5 yards to go from the 10. Not much on the ground so far for either team.
I like the way Greg Allen follows his blockers. If you notice, he puts his hand on the blockers in front of him, and he likes to get real close to him. But Nelson, the defensive right tackle, made a nice play to force him deep. The play never really got developed on that last snap.
Faking to Allen this time. Stockstill looking to throw on third down into the end zone. Out of bounds and incomplete. The catch was made by Phil Williams, but he was out of bounds again. Rodney Bellinger was defending number 4. It'll be fourth down and about 5 yards to go from the Miami 10.
Mike Rendina.
Freshman Mike Rendina comes on along with the field goal unit.
Clemson 3, North Carolina 0 in the first quarter. The number 3 ranked football team. Nebraska 17, Oklahoma State nothing. Nebraska hadn't had a lot of touchdown, I don't think, about 3 or 4 games. They're playing very well now.
The holder is Kelly Lowry, a reserve quarterback, and this time the snap is good. Kick, however, is a fake, and Lowry is throwing the pass. It is complete, and a first down inside the Miami 5-yard line. Number 84, Sam Childers, the tight end, made the reception.
Sam Childers, 84.
Here's the fake. Now, I think it's a great-looking play. The kicker acts like he's going to kick the ball. He's throwing a couple of vicious blocks there. We have a throw the up back of the tight end. Now, he's down to about the 3-yard line, and the thing that's amazing about this is that Miami actually thought that the ball had to go in the end zone, and they ran off the field like it was their ball and sent their defensive team in, but it really was a first down.
There was enough for a first down, and we will take a timeout with 5 minutes and 19 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. 10-6, Miami leading Florida State.
Okay, here's the replay again. Lowry puts the ball down and swings out to his right. He's going to hit Childers with the football. I actually think that Miami thought the kick had been blocked like the last one because they sort of were fooled, and all of a sudden Childers takes the football and he runs for the first down, and it's a big play for the Seminoles.
First and goal, Florida State. They are trailing and they are threatening as Greg Allen pounds down near the goal line. Touchdown! Great second effort by freshman Greg Allen for a Florida State touchdown run from the 3-yard line.
That's what we call winning football, when you hit and you won't go down, and nobody teaches you that kind of intensity and that kind of toughness. He is a fine-looking freshman back, and I like the way he looked like he was stopped. And then all of a sudden, Steve, the big surge.
That's what separates the good ones from the great ones.
That's exactly. But you know, their offensive line didn't quit either. They kept surging forward.
This time, they kick the football. The extra point is good as the freshman Rantina makes it 13-10 in favor of Florida State. A seesaw battle here in Tallahassee this afternoon. A close football game is what we'd expected, and that's what we're getting.
Next, sophomore tailback sensation Herschel Walker leads top-ranked Georgia against Florida in a national joust. A fiery NCAA football contest. Next.
Stay with us for the big doubleheader today of NCAA football here on ABC as we look at the Florida State scoring drive, and the big interception by Harris put them in good field position as they only had to go, as you saw, 37 yards for the go-ahead touchdown. 5:43 remaining in the second quarter. It is now 13-10 favor of Florida State. Rendina will kick off. Mark Rush is deep to receive for Miami. Will not be Rush, however. It will be James Boone, number 14, who takes it and breaks it up the far sideline and gets it across the 25. Miami going back on offense with plenty of time remaining in the half. And again, we want to remind you, coming up next, the second half of our doubleheader. Number 4 ranked Georgia, 7-1 on the year, led by Herschel Walker, who's going after the Heisman Trophy as well as a bunch of rushing records, taking on rival Florida in Jacksonville, Florida 5-3 this season. That's next, right here on ABC. First and 10, Miami. They mark it at the 26-yard line. Chris Hobbs breaks the tackle and gets out of bounds. Doesn't gain much, however. He gets it out to about the 29. Gain of 2 on the play. It'll be second down and 8. James Harris, number 33, ran him out of bounds. Jim Kelly had a big first quarter passing the football, Pepper. Picked up 106 yards throwing it. In the second quarter so far, Miami has no yards passing.
Well, he'll get some. I'm really impressed with his play.
Completing it to his tight end, number 86, Glenn Dennison. And Dennison is close to the first down marker, depending on where they mark the football. James Gilbert, 51, and number 83, Ron Hester, making the tackle for Florida State. It is enough for a Miami first down, as the ball is just outside the 38 of Miami.
I like their pass offense. That tight end just sort of eased his way into the seam between the linebacker and the strong safety, and he drilled it right in there.
There you see Kelly's statistics so far today. Passing again on first and 10. And completes it a rush coming out of the backfield, and Rush is up to the 45 for a gain of 7. It'll be second down and 3. Ron Hester, 83 again, making the tackle for the Seminole defense.
Linebackers have to make a lot of tackles against these people because they throw control-type passes, and if your linebackers aren't good in pass defense and not good open field tacklers, they'll really burn you. So you have to make a lot of tackles against this Miami football team.
Second down, 3 yards to go. Stacked up in the middle is the ball carrier Chris Hobbs, and he gained perhaps a half a yard is all, as Tommy Young, number 54, one of the inside linebackers, put the hit on him.
James Gilbert was in the backfield like a cat and almost made the hit about 3 yards in this deep, but didn't quite get him.
Kelly just got the ball off in time.
Yeah, I know. He's a good nose guard, Gilbert.
Third down, a yard and a half to go. Hobbs, the ball carrier, and he will be short. I don't believe Hobbs made it as he punched it out across the 47. He needed to get it across the 48. We'll see where they mark it with 79, Gary Futch, one of the first Seminole defenders there, along with 64, Jarvis Coursey. Tommy Miller says it is my time, and apparently the chains are going to be brought on for a measurement.
They're in a strong set, fullback up over the tackle, but Futch makes a hit there, big hit, and it doesn't look like from here that they made the first down, but they're a little short. I believe they'll go for this on fourth down, Steve. I think that the Miami staff will say, let's make this first down, try it again.
Fourth and about 9 to 12 inches to go for the first down. The clock running with 3 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the first half. Florida State leading Miami 13 to 10 in what has been a tight seesaw battle. And now the Florida State faithful come to their feet on fourth and a foot. Kelly on the quarterback sneak. Very close. First down, indicates referee Tommy Miller, saying that he does have enough for another Miami first down.
That's 3 first downs that he sneaked for on short yardage like that. Right in behind that strong offensive line, and he goes on a quick count. Gets a good snap, good and low, protects the football, goes over the top, and actually makes a nice run out of a short yardage play there.
That's the 9th first down for Miami today at their own 49, first and 10. Kelly with good protection, firing it deep. Into the end zone, incomplete, intended for Brodsky, as Brodsky was bumped by number 24, Harvey Clayton, just as the ball got there. Perhaps a little bit overthrown. No flag on the play. It'll be second down and 10.
The old saying is no harm, no foul. I mean, the ball was overthrown, and he did bump him a little bit, but I think it was more just running for the football, and I think Kelly just actually threw the ball over everybody's head because he had him pretty well covered.
Well, lot of people forget that when the ball is in the air, both the defender and the offensive player have equal right to it.
They both have the same right to get to the football.
2nd and 10, Miami at their own 49. Kelly under pressure, dumping it off on the screen to Speedy Neal, and he's trapped in the backfield. Ron Hester, number 83 again, with another big defensive play for the Seminoles. Hester, a 220-pound senior out of Umatilla, Florida.
They tried this middle screen again. It's called let everybody get through the block and then let Speedy Neal just sort of slip up the middle and dump him the football. But Hester had him man for man this time. And when you're playing man to man and they're screening, you should play it and stop it. And he covered him. It was his play. Nice play by Hester.
The loss is back inside the 45 at the 44. On 3rd down, Kelly firing over the middle, almost intercepted and knocked down by James Harris, number 33. James Harris and Larry Harris have both come very close to interceptions. Larry had one earlier.
James had that one. If he'd have just put it away, he'd have been sort of like running himself like a square in by a defensive back.
And the Florida State fans give their defense a standing ovation. Greg LaBelle, number 5, comes in to punt it away. Dropping back deep to receive is 41, Cedric Jones of Florida State, standing on about his own 10-yard line. LaBelle averaging almost 40 yards a kick, almost has it blocked. Jones takes it at the 14-yard line, trying to get to the outside, gets a block. Breaks one tackle, still on his feet at the 30 and knocked down there. And a Miami player is hurt. The player that got blocked at the 10-yard line is still down on the ground.
That was a real big league hit. We hope he's not hurt, but that was a fair shot, and it's part of the game. There's a lot of pressure. Gilbert almost blocked the kick, and it's a spiraling kick. Jones takes the ball, and you see him racing for the wall. Here's the hit right here, right there, fair, and he breaks another tackle, and he almost breaks this punt return for a long, long gainer. I like that move by Jones.
He is a fine runner. Greg Zappala, number 65, may be the injured Miami Hurricane down on the field. He is still lying, and you see him there at the 10-yard line. That was a punt of 42 yards by LaBelle, but an excellent return by Jones. This Monday night on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, live at 9 Eastern Time, the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys. Buffalo 6-3, number 2 right now in the AFC's Eastern Division, and the Cowboys 7-2. They, of course, just moved back in to a tie for first place in the NFC Eastern Division with their win over Philadelphia. This Monday night, ABC's NFL Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern, Buffalo and Dallas, right here on ABC. A 16-yard punt return by Cedric Jones. And the injured player still being attended to, as you see there.
I hope he's not hurt. That was a tough shot he took, but he's getting up.
It is Zappala, number 65, junior linebacker out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And again, we remind you to stay with us this afternoon as the doubleheader continues. Coming up next here on ABC, number 4 ranked Georgia and Herschel Walker against their rival, the Gators of Florida, from Jacksonville. Big day on ABC for all the teams in the state of Florida. On first down, the carry by Greg Allen is out to about the 35. For a gain of 5, it'll be 2nd and 5. 93 Greg Brown making the tackle for Miami. The clock is running with 1 minute and 33 seconds remaining in the half as we look at scores of other games, in Illinois leading Michigan in the first quarter. Clemson leading North Carolina. 2nd down and 5, the reverse to Jones. Cedric trying to get a block and get outside. Almost has the first down, but Tim Flanagan, Miami's fine senior defensive end, wraps him up. He'll be 1 yard short as they will mark it at the 39. They ran that play to the other side earlier.
That's right, but they shouldn't fool with Flanagan out there. He's a outstanding outside linebacker, defensive end, and he fought off the blocker and made the hit. It would have been a big play for Cedric Jones because they were all going with the tailback who had the football, Allen.
Now Stocks Stockstill has asked for a timeout, stopping the clock with 1 minute and 16 seconds remaining in the half. Florida State is leading Miami 13-10, and it is third down and 1 yard to go for the Seminoles at their own 39. We want to remind you that coming up tomorrow over most of these same ABC stations, College Football 81. You'll see highlights of these games: Clemson, North Carolina, Texas, Houston, our game, Miami, Florida State, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio State, Minnesota, and Washington, UCLA. Some big ones in all parts of the country. Be sure to check the local listings for the time in your area. College Football 81 with highlights for you tomorrow here on ABC. Boy, what a job Howard Schnellenberger has done since coming from the pros. You know, really, Pepper, a lot of coaches who come to college football from the pros do not do that well. Howard has really been the exception.
Well, you know, he coached, of course, college football
before. Yes.
He does understand the difference between college football. There's a lot of recruiting involved. You don't draft people like the pros do, but he's got a pro offense. I'm really impressed with what he's taken from pro football and adapted into the college game. It's a good-looking offense.
3rd and 1, Florida State. Whiting, the fullback, appears to have enough for the first down as he leaps over the line and gets it across the 40 before number 66, Scott Nicholas, knocks him back. And it is enough for a Florida State first down. Coming up at halftime today, our regular halftime feature, Fireman's Fund Flashback, will feature a look at the probationary situation faced by the University of Miami that was announced this week. We'll have a full report for you as part of our Fireman's Fund Flashback on the University of Miami's recently announced probation coming up at halftime today. 1st and 10, Florida State at their own 41. Faking, Stockstill under pressure, and he'll be sacked. Did he get the ball off in time? Incomplete is the ruling. It's an incompleted forward pass. In there very quickly was Tim Flanagan, number 90, and 91, Bob Nelson, two fine defensive players for Miami.
I thought this was a screen pass. He came back just so fast. I mean, Nelson is just putting tremendous pressure on him, and then here comes Flanagan. He doesn't have any time, and actually threw the ball away. Could have been intercepted, and a big play for the Miami Hurricanes, but that was great pressure by Flanagan and Nelson.
The ball still at the Florida State 41. It is 2nd down and 10. The clock with 41 seconds remaining in the half. Allen following his blocking, hitting across the 45 to the 46. Gain of about 5 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 5 yards to go. David Jefferson, number 37, made the tackle. You see the clock running now with 25 seconds.
Looks like they're just going to run out to half here and not put the ball up. A little surprised because they're not that far from the end of the field. They're about 54 yards away, but maybe he'll put the ball up here this time. Maybe he'll take a chance on a long pass or something.
3rd and 5. Stockstill gives to Greg Allen, and Allen has enough for the first down, breaks one tackle and gets out of bounds in Miami territory at the Miami 44. Jamie Boone, number 14, a junior out of Miami, ran him out of bounds. The clock stops with now 2 seconds remaining in the half.
Well, here's Allen on sort of a draw-type play. Sprint draw. It's a weak side play, meaning you start like you're going to go to the strong side, and he breaks back weak. They block everybody, so it's a bend back. And he's fighting, and he's trying to get out of bounds. And as he goes toward the sideline, he is knocked out of bounds, and he stops the clock with 2 seconds. Steve, it seems to me that in this particular situation, that you'd be wise to throw a long pass and hope for pass interference.
I would have to agree. This is obviously barring a penalty, the final play of the half, and Stockstill with plenty of time steps up. Now he's going to have to run it, and he slides down at the 40 as time runs out. Everybody was covered, and Stockstill could not get the pass away. The end of the first half with Florida State leading Miami 13-10. We'll be back with today's halftime activities after this message about an upcoming show on ABC, as well as a word from our local stations. Steve Zabriskie, along with Pepper Rogers, welcoming you back to Doak Campbell Stadium here in Tallahassee, Florida, where Florida State leads Miami 13-10 at halftime. Here's how the scoring went. Florida State getting on the board first in the first quarter. Tony Johnson, a 12-yard pass from Stockstill for a 6-0 lead. The extra point was blocked as Florida State's had trouble with the snaps today. It was 6-0, however, at that point. Then in the first quarter, Miami got on the board. Dan Miller kicking a 32-yard field goal. That made it 6-3 in favor of Florida State. Miami came back in the second quarter. Mark Rush diving over from the 1-yard line. Miller the extra point. It was 10-6 in favor of Miami. And then Florida State went back out on top in the second quarter. 5:43 remaining in the half. Greg Allen, a 2-yard run. Mike Randina kicked the extra point, and that's where we are right now. 13-10. Florida State leading Miami. As a part of our Fireman's Fun flashback at halftime, we're going to be taking a look at the situation surrounding the probation announced by the NCAA against the University of Miami this week. And our Fireman's Fund flashback, as usual, is brought to you by Fireman's Fund Insurance. Fireman's Fund Insurance is brought to you by an independent agent near you. For a report on the story surrounding the probation by the NCAA against the University of Miami, we got a report from Chuck Dowdle.
Going down one way, and they've got Brodsky the other way, and he's gone.
Just 1 week ago today, the University of Miami was enjoying a nationally televised upset of the nation's top-ranked team. Many longtime Hurricane observers call the 17-14 victory over Penn State the biggest win in the school's history.
This is a culmination of the practice and effort that this team has put on for 2.5 years. It's something that nobody can ever take away from them. It's something that they can cherish. They can talk to their children and grandchildren about.
That was on Saturday. On Tuesday, just 3 days later, the celebration over the big win, the 5-2 record, and the rising bowl hopes ended. The NCAA had concluded 2.5 years of investigations and hearings into irregularities in the University of Miami's football recruiting practices during the years 1976 to 1980.
The penalty that the NCAA Committee on Infractions recommended is the following: a 2-year probation beginning immediately. During the first year of probation, that is starting right now, the football team is prohibited from postseason competition. During the 1982-83 academic year, the NCAA also has restricted the number of newly awarded football grants and aid to a maximum of 20 student athletes rather than the normal 30 student athletes.
It is important to point out that Miami's recruiting infractions were what the NCAA considers of a minor nature. Free visors and T-shirts to recruits, extra meal money while prospects visited the campus, and so on. For that reason, the punishment was light, not damaging the Hurricanes' TV appearances and the much-needed revenue, or handicapping their recruiting pitch with future bowl bans.
Certainly it's something that we would rather not have had happen. It's something that will not allow us to develop as quickly and as fully as we would like. But certainly it's something that will not destroy it.
When punishment is handed out, someone suffers. In this case, the University of Miami football program and 14 seniors denied a possible bowl trip in this, their final year.
We were pretty hurt and stunned, and not so much angry, but just feeling it right in the heart.
But it was sort of a hard thing to swallow, you know. I sat up and I was in another world for a minute, and, you know, right now I'm still thinking about it. And, you know, it's hard on the team and stuff. Maybe if it had came early before the season had started, you know, it wouldn't be so bad. But to be so late in the season and about a game or two from now the bowl bids come out, you know, you feel a little cheated.
Chuck Dowdle for ABC Sports, Miami.
For the NCAA's part and their view of the situation regarding the probation taken against the University of Miami, Ben Story of our Austin, Texas affiliate KVUE-TV in Austin talked with the chairman of the NCAA Infractions Committee, Charles Allen Wright, not only about the sanction that was leveled against them, but also the leniency surrounding it, whether or not it was in fact a serious penalty.
Professor, the University of Miami has just been found guilty of 66 out of 107 recruiting violations, yet their penalties don't seem as stringent as laid down by the NCAA in some other cases. Why is that?
Well, the numerous violations by Miami did not show a pattern of unethical inducements to young men. No large cash payments, no promises of cars. What it did show was a lack of attention to NCAA rules. That had to be penalized. We think the penalty is a very meaningful one. To be denied the chance to play in a bowl is serious, and especially so for an independent like Miami that would not have to share bowl revenues with other schools in a conference. And in addition, the severe limit on grants and aid should offset any recruiting advantage that Miami's obtained from its past violations.
Limiting scholarships from 30 down to 20, is that an unusual penalty as imposed by the NCAA?
No, we've done it a number of times, and coaches have told us that we ought to do that more, that they think that is the single most severe sanction that we impose.
Welcome back to Tallahassee. It is band day here at Florida State University, and the Florida State University Marching Chiefs are on the field right now. They are under the direction of the Director of Marching Chiefs, Bentley Schellhammer, the Director of Bands of the university's Dr. James Croft, the Drum Major Ken Williams, the Head Majorette Carrie Leslie, and the Flag Corps Captain is Kathy Kane. And for their halftime show today, they're featuring a special salute to the International Year of Disabled Persons. As a part of that salute, they are featuring music played today, made famous by disabled composers and performers. Stevie Wonder tunes performed by the Florida State University Marching Chiefs. Now a Ray Charles tune, I Can't Stop Loving You. Florida State University 1981 Marching Chiefs. Let's take a moment out now from our halftime show to take a look at the beautiful 340-plus acre campus here in Florida's beautiful capital city.
One of the world's outstanding physics laboratories is located at Florida State University in Tallahassee. Faculty and students working in this major research-oriented physics department are engaged in research which may result in new sources of clean energy, research to better explain the structure of matter, research which may change the very essence of the way we understand the laws of nature. Among the noted scientists at Florida State is Nobel Prize winner P.A.M. Dirac, whose work stands with that of Einstein and other great minds of this century. America's energy is mind power, and the Department of Physics is just one of the exciting centers of energy-generating mind power at Florida State University.
We're at halftime, Florida State is leading Miami 13-10 in what has proved out to be just as close and exciting a ball game as we had anticipated. A seesaw battle. Both teams have held the lead. Both teams have moved the football well at times, and both defenses have played well so far to this point, at least in the football game. Florida State leading Miami at halftime 13-10. NCAA college football, Miami at Florida State, is being brought to you today by Chevrolet, who invite you to see all the good things for 1982 at your local Chevy dealers. Chevy makes good things happen. By Goodyear, makers of Arriva. Even its footprint tells you it's different. By Budweiser, for all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Xerox. They make 22 copiers, and every one's an original. We'll be returning for the finale of our halftime activities in just a minute. It was band day here at halftime. The Florida State 1981 Marching Chiefs being joined on the field by the Lincoln High School Marching Band from Tallahassee, Florida, and the Manatee High School Marching Band from Bradenton, Florida, all concluding their halftime salute to disabled persons here in 1981. Here's a look at the statistics from the first half, and as you can see, it is basically a pretty even football game. The total yardage only 6 yards difference. Miami with two turnovers and a little bit longer time of possession and one more first down. Basically, Pepper, I'd have to say it's gone pretty much the way we had expected it to be. It's a close seesaw battle to this point.
Miami has made the 26 yards rushing, which is an important statistic because they throw the ball just about every down, and if they don't make some yards off the draw and some plays like that, they'll be forced to throw more than they are now. But it's as even as you can get. I mean, 5 or 6 yards between the two football teams. They both had some mistakes, Steve, in the kicking game. Some bad snaps, and then, of course, Miami dropped a punt, and they both had some problems in that area. But other than that, it's been a clean, hard-hitting football game played by two teams that are well coached.
Offensively for Miami, Jim Kelly has completed 13 of 21 passes for 109 yards. And as Pepper mentioned, they have not run the football that effectively. As far as Florida State is concerned, as you look at the Miami Hurricanes now coming back out onto the field, Greg Allen is the leading rusher in the ball game. He has 11 carries for 54 yards. And their fine quarterback, Rick Stockstill, has completed only 6 of 14 passes, but he's picked up 51 yards. He had a few incompletions toward the end of the second half when they were trying to move the football down the field, save some time on the clock. He has thrown the ball very well. Many of his incompletions were caught, but out of bounds for incompletions. So we're just about ready for the second half of play, as Florida State has yet to make their appearance, as they are beginning to mass in the tunnel now under the stands at the north end of the end zone. And Pepper, they have an excellent facility here for football and athletics at Florida State.
Well, when you do a football game at Florida State, and the crowd is always up, they've got the great tradition, they've got facilities like you can't believe, but the enthusiasm of the Florida State fans is really something. You know, I worked at Florida for a while as an assistant football coach, and I was up at this field for the first game that we played at Florida. And I love that horse. Here he comes.
And the Seminole astride his horse leads the Seminoles out of the tunnel and onto the field to start the second half. Florida State should get the football and will be defending the south end zone, which means they'll be operating to start the second half with a slight breeze in their face. I wouldn't call it a wind, as it is blowing leisurely out of the northeast on a beautiful day here in Tallahassee, and I'm sure throughout the state of Florida as well. Be sure to stay with us today, as this is only the first of a doubleheader. It'll be Georgia and Florida coming up immediately following our game, as NCAA football will continue for you all afternoon here on ABC. It is 13-10, Florida State leading Miami as we get set for the third quarter.
I would like to see the Seminole horse. How would you like to see the Seminole horse against the Trojan horse? That'd be some matchup, huh?
Be a nice quarter horse race.
Yeah, it would.
Miami will be kicking off as we look at scores of other games up in the Ivy League.
The Cornells are beating the Elis 7-0. 0-0, Indiana, Wisconsin. That big ball game in the Big Ten. Utah 7, New Mexico 0 at halftime.
Number 1, Dan Miller teeing up the ball for the Hurricanes of Miami. what he can do. He was so impressive that I called Greg Allen Jones once, as a matter of fact.
Well, when you see good backs, they all look alike sometimes because they really have it.
Billy Allen will take it, and he will be about 3 yards deep and will not return it. It'll be 1st and 10. Florida State at their own 20-yard line, and that's pretty much been the story as far as kickoffs today have been concerned. There's our camera at the south end of the field on a very tall crane that is parked in the parking lot, giving you a nice high look over the scoreboard. Defensively, Tim Flanagan, a defensive end for Miami, number 90, as well as some other folks, which we'll catch in a moment. 1st and 10 from the 20, Mike Whiting, the fullback. And Whiting gets about 5 to the 25-yard line before he's finally hauled down. Nice second effort by Michael Whiting as Scott Nicholas, 66, made the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Florida State at their own 25. Bob Nelson, the defensive tackle. Tony Chickalo is actually the nose guard in that defensive alignment. Lester Williams, the other defensive tackle. And Isaiah West, number 55, who almost had an interception, the other defensive end. 2nd down, 5 yards to go. Florida State at their own 25. They lead Miami 13-10 as we begin the second half. Allen running hard, has the 1st down at the 31. 66 Scott Nicholas, and 14 Jamie Boone knock him down. Another good carry for Greg Allen.
Ball at the 31.
Again, Miami's defense with Nicholas, who made that tackle at the inside linebacker position, along with Greg Brown, number 93. In the secondary, it's Ronnie Lippett at quarterback. Jamie Boone, who was also in on that tackle, at cornerback. David Jefferson is the rover. And Freddie Marion, 31, is the free safety. The pass is complete. Dennis McKinnon. And McKinnon is up near the 40-yard line of Florida State before Rodney Bellinger and Greg Brown bring him down. Stockstill completing his first pass of the second half.
39-yard line.
There's the offense with Rick Stockstill at quarterback, Allen and Whiting in the backfield, and McKinnon and Williams, the 2 wide receivers, although you will see a variety as number 82, Tony Johnson, has just come into the game. The tight end is Zeke Mowat with Voltapelli, Render, McCormick, Merson, and Ryan, the big guys up front. 2nd down, 2 yards to go. Whiting gets across the 40 and just barely, as they will mark it perhaps a half yard short of the 1st down. Greg Brown, number 93, tripped him up. It'll be 3rd down and about a half yard to go just outside Florida State's 40.
What they've been doing in these situations is lining up in the unbalanced line. Now, you can't see sometimes that they are imbalanced, but they have been taking and putting an unbalanced lineman over to the strong side and running the football as they are right now. They've gone the unbalanced line.
Allen gets away from one defender in the backfield, but he will go nowhere. Finally wrapped up by Jamie Boone, number 14, as the first guy to break through there was number 66, Scott Nicholas. And the loss will be a yard back to the 39. It'll be 4th down, about 2.5 yards to go. Florida State will have to give up the football, and Ron Stark, number 3, is in to punt it away. James Boone, 14, dropping back deep to receive for Miami. Look at the fine freshman Greg Allen coming on.
Ron Stark, punting position.
Stark, who boomed one about 54 yards last time on a bad snap, gets a good snap and booms it again. Boone is going inside the 10, back to the 6-yard line. Good coverage by Florida State at the 11.
Big league kick, left-footed spiral, long shot.
Sam Restivo, number 52, made the tackle. A 55-yard punt by Stark. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line for Miami when we come back. Steve Zabriskie along with Pepper Rogers as Miami goes on offense for the first time here in the second half following that 55-yard punt by Ron Stark. Miami 1st and 10 at their own 11-yard line. Smokey Roan, the ball carrier, and Roan is knocked down at the 12. Florida State's defense was there. Ron Hester, 83, who has been outstanding today, along with Jarvis Coursey. Scott McLean is at one defensive end for Florida State. Gary Futch, who made a lot of tackles in the first half, is the right defensive tackle. James Gilbert at nose guard, number 51 out of Miami. Alfonso Carricker is the left tackle from Columbus, Ohio. And Jarvis Coursey, number 64, the other defensive end who was in on that play. 2nd down, 9. Kelly looking looking to throw. Completes it to his tight end, number 86, Glenn Dennison. And Dennison struggles out close to the 20-yard line. They'll mark him down at about the 18, however. Jarvis Coursey again on the tackle, number 64. Defensive backfield for Florida State has Ken Rowe at one inside linebacker, along with Ron Hester, number 83, who's been all over the place. Ivory Clayton, number 24, at one corner. The strong safety is Tracy Ashley, number 23. Larry Harris is the weak safety, number 30. And James Harris, number 33, is the cornerback. On third down, Speedy Neal banging forward and has the first down. As he gets across the 20, they'll mark it at about the 23. 33, James Harris, making the tackle in the secondary, the senior from Gainesville. Kelly, Roan, Hobbs, Brodsky, and Rodrigue in the backfield. You'll see more of the running backs than that, however. Welchmore, Bailey, Barbarino, Frazier, and Doug Dennison, the tight end, up front. 10.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Florida State 13, Miami 10. Kelly with lots of time. Can't find anybody open. And he's dragged down. Number 60, Scott McLean, the right defensive end, and the senior out of Claremont, Florida, made the tackle.
Nice pass defense by the Florida State football team. Their containment on these sort of broke down on containing Kelly and gave him a chance to get out of the pocket. But Kelly's not a real great runner with a football. As you can see, he breaks containment here, and he starts to throw the football, but decides to run it, and he's dragged down by McLean.
Ball still at the 18-yard line. It is second down and 10. Kelly to throw once again. Plenty of time, and completes it to Rodrigue. And Rodrigue has a first down and is out of bounds at the 41.5-yard line of Miami. Tracy Ashley, the strong safety, number 23, ran him out of bounds.
Kelly drops back to throw the ball in the pocket. He makes a fine throw to Rodrigue in between the seam, between the cornerback and the safety man against a 5 underneath zone pass defense and a 2 deep behind the 5 underneath zone people. It gave him a chance to hit the seam, and that's a tough throw, but it was a good throw.
It's a gain of 19 yards and another first down for Miami. Their own 41.5. Pitch back to Smokey Roan. And Lorenzo breaks one tackle and gets across the 45. Down at the 46 by Jarvis Coursey, number 64. Gain of about 5 on the play. It'll be second and 5.
Pitch sweep to the weak side. And this is a hard-hitting offensive football play. There's a lot of hitting going on, and when he turns up inside, Smokey Roan, he delivers a blow. He doesn't go down to the first shot, and then he turns up and finally tackled by Coursey, but it's a good play for Miami.
From where they mark the football, it's really closer to second down and 6, just across the 45. Kelly firing it to Chris Hobbs out of the backfield, incomplete. Jarvis Coursey was defending on the play. It'll be third down and 6 yards to go for Miami at their own 45. Jim Kelly and his statistics on the afternoon. Not a bad day so far. Third and 6 at the 45.5 of Miami. Complete to Brodsky for the first down as Brodsky has it in Florida State territory near the 41-yard line of the Seminoles. Harvey Clayton, number 24, made the tackle, and Brodsky's getting up very gingerly.
Limping a little bit. He had a collision last Tuesday in practice. He was going out for a long pass, and he happened to run into another fellow going out for a long pass, going in the opposite direction, and they weren't sure that he was going to play. It was a tremendous collision on the practice field, and he's got a bad hip from that collision, and it looks like he might have re-injured it.
That was Brodsky's first reception of the afternoon. First and 10 from the Florida State 41. Incomplete. Intended for Mark Rush coming out of the backfield. Underthrown a bit. Ron Hester was defending on the play. It'll be second and 10 still at the 41 of Florida State as we look at more scores.
The Harvard 7. Browns 3 and Rhode Island 0. Duke over Wake Forest 10-3. South Carolina 7, Pacific nothing in the first quarter. Coach Collins' team rolling along.
Miami on second down and 10.
way Gilbert plays. He's a very active nose man. As you can see, when he makes the play here, he comes off the block, makes the hit, and I mean, it's a hit. He puts his face right across the bow where he doesn't have a chance to make any more after the hit. It's a good play by Gilbert.
Gilbert at 6 feet and 260 pounds.
Well, he's big enough to stop him.
I'll say. 3rd and 9 from the Florida State 40. Incomplete, intended for Rocky Belt. A little bit underthrown again as Belt came back for the ball. Harvey Clayton, number 24, was defending. It'll be 4th down and 9 at the Florida State 40.
Brings up 4th down.
That was a nice drive by Miami, though. They had the ball in poor field position, and it's very difficult to drive 89 yards or so with the ball for a touchdown, but they moved the ball back to where when Florida State gets the football, they'll be back at their end of the field. They should be very happy with that drive. They're going to try a field goal.
That's right. Senior Danny Miller, number 1. Number 5 is Greg LaBelle, the punter who does the holding. They are marking the football at the 47. It'll be a 57-yard field goal attempt. Just a slight breeze blowing at his back. It's a low line drive shot. Enough distance. It's good.
Surprised me, but he did kick a 56-yard against Florida, I believe, in the opening game of the season. That's a great kick, Steve.
A 57-yarder. He could have made that probably from 67 yards. 7:38 to go in the 3rd quarter. We're tied. 13 all.
Here's Miller kicking it from the end zone. As you can see, he really gets a foot into the ball, and it would have made, he could have kicked that from 70 yards. He could have set a world's record.
He drilled it.
Long kick.
He set the school record with a 56-yarder earlier in the year against Florida, and this one was 1 yard longer than that, so it's a new Miami record of 57 yards. Miller will kick off. Billy Allen, 31, is deep, along with Cedric Allen and Mike Whiting. And this one goes clear past the end line before it hits the ground. I think Danny's a little pumped up.
Well, he's excited. I would be, too, after kicking a 56-yard field goal, 57-yard field goal. It's a big leg he's got, and it's important in a ball game.
Looks like a baseball score there.
7-5. That's an unusual score. Penn State leading North Carolina State at halftime, 7-6. Nebraska 17, Oklahoma State 0. Illinois is 21, Michigan 14. Illinois is playing good football this year.
1st and 10, Florida State at their own 20. We're tied 13-13. With about 7.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Stockstill faking and retreating to throw. Setting up the screen intended for Whiting. And it was no good. Lester Williams, number 73, and Bob Nelson, number 91, with the defensive coverage. Lester Williams was coming on Rick Stockstill.
He was coming, and then Nelson was covering the screen. You have 2 giants, one of them rushing, one of them covering. It's very difficult to throw a screen to anybody with a situation like that.
There are Stockstill's statistics for the afternoon. Not a high completion percentage. To run it in slides down and out of bounds after gaining about 4 to the 24. It'll be 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Greg Brown, 93, ran him out of bounds.
You know, Stockstill has a different technique of falling than most people. Most people slide in feet first. Looks like he uses a forward roll technique. I think that's a little more dangerous because you're exposing your shoulders and your throwing arm that way. Fran Tarkenton taught them all how to slide in feet first, and I think it protects you a little more.
Mark the ball very near the 25. It's 3rd down and a long 5 to go. Firing it over the middle of Whiting. He has the 1st down in open field. He's into the midfield area. Fumbles the football, but they say he was down at the 44. A big gain on the center screen to Mike Whiting, the fullback. Fred Marion, number 31, had to make the defensive play in the secondary along with 66 Nicholas.
I like passes like this. He drops back, and then he hits the Whiting out of the backfield underneath in front of the linebackers dropping. And it's a nice run by Whiting, and Marion comes in and makes a hit. But it's the type play that you need to have against a team that rushes like Miami and also has linebackers who drop deep.
On 1st and 10, Allen, and he will lose perhaps a half a yard as the Miami defense was in the Florida State backfield. Tony Chickalo, the nose guard, and Bob Nelson, the right defensive tackle him for a loss back near the 43. It'll be 2nd and 11.
It's hard to hold blocks a long time against Chickalo and Nelson and Williams. When you're running the eye and bring that ball back 6 and 7 yards deep, they have a chance to get rid of the blocker, and there's not much running with it.
Greg Allen, the 185-pound freshman out of Milton, Florida, starts to the pass, firing it to the near sideline, incomplete, intended for Tony Johnson. I don't know whether there was just a disagreement as to where the pattern was supposed to be run or whether the pressure from Lester Williams on Rick Stockstill caused him to throw that ball on the ground.
I've never seen a screen pass develop that fast. It looked like a screen pass. The defenders were in there so fast. It was just a little three-step drop and a short out pass to the wide receiver, but Williams was in there so fast he didn't have a chance.
Third down and about 10.5 yards to go. The ball still at the Florida State 43.5-yard line. Pressure again. Stockstill gets it off. Almost intercepted. Fred Marion, number 31, coming across, playing that center field position, almost picked the ball off. No, it was 37, David Jefferson, and not 31, Fred Marion. Jefferson almost had the interception.
Well, Rick Stockstill is having a tough time throwing the football today because of the great pressure. You can see, here comes Nelson in, here comes Lester Williams in, and he really was pressured in the pass. Should have been intercepted. It would have been a big play for Miami.
Jefferson, a senior from Hialeah, almost picked it off. Ron Stark is in to punt. Jamie Boone, number 14, is deep to receive for Miami. Stark gets it away under some pressure. Boone's another one heading for the near sideline. Bounds on about the 17 and out of bounds at the 11.
That's called pinning up. I mean, when you have that kind of kicking, it is very difficult to lose if you do that right.
A 45-yard punt by Ron Stark, who is upping his average today with some boomers. 5:34 left to play in the third quarter. We're still tied at 13-all, and Miami's backed up once again. This is where they began their last possession at the 11. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football this Monday night will feature the Buffalo Bills against the Dallas Cowboys at 9 Eastern Time over most of these ABC stations. Buffalo and Dallas on Monday Night Football this week here on ABC. First and 10 from the 11. Kelly throwing it long. Incomplete, intended for Rocky Belk on the near sideline. Well covered by James Harris, number 33. It'll be second down and 10. Miami at their own 11.
See, Miami's trying to get a big play from down there. They need a big play. It's very difficult to take the ball and do it in 4- and 5-yard spurts from your 11-yard line all the time. And so they're trying to get a big play, but Harris covered him extremely well, and there was no big play.
Completing it to Rocky Belk. Belk breaking one tackle, cuts inside and gets to the 31 or 2. Tackled by Tommy Young, number 54, the right side inside linebacker. And a nice move by Rocky Belk, a junior out of Alexandria, Virginia.
Well, here's Kelly back to throw the football. He's got nice protection. Florida State's making an effort to get to him. They got bodies coming all over the place, diving, trying to get to him, but they can't. And he fires the football, and it looks like it might be a Florida State play here. It looks like it's well covered, but Belk takes it away and makes a first down.
Kelly now 17 of 29 for 169 yards. Firing again. Incomplete, intended for Dennison, the tight end, who could not hang on to it, and Glenn is not real pleased with himself.
That was a blitz, too, and Kelly picked it up. I mean, you have a difficult time blitzing him because he sees the blitz coming, and he just dropped that ball off to Dennison, and Dennison had a chance to take it against one-on-one man-for-man coverage and make a big play out of it, but he dropped it.
Miami will check off at the line of scrimmage, perhaps more so than most college football teams.
Well, if you're going to have a pro-type offense, you got to do that.
Second down and 10 from the 31.5 of Miami. Incomplete, intended for Rush coming out of the backfield, and I want to tell you, James Harris almost had that ball picked off, and if he had, it might have been 6 for Florida State.
Rutgers 3, Pittsburgh 0. That's a stunner right there. That's a USC in California. We hear about later. Clemson 7, North Carolina 5 at halftime. Georgia, Florida later on ABC. That's going to be a great ball game. Texas, Houston tonight. Penn State 7, North Carolina State 6 at halftime.
Third down and 31.5 of Miami. Kelly with lots of time, firing it over the middle, completes it to Brodsky. Brodsky has the first down as he's into Florida State territory at the 48-yard line. Larry Harris, number 30, made the tackle. Big play for Miami on 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I like that. I watched it develop, and they had the tight end coming across shallow, which held those linebackers as Kelly set up for the pass. And he waited and had good protection, and he had Brodsky coming across the middle, and that was a key first down on 3rd down and 10.
Miami 1st and 10 from the Florida State 48. Complete to Brodsky again, and Brodsky is inside the 40, very close to the first down marker. And from where one official has it marked, it appears it is a first down for Miami at the 37 of Florida State. Harvey Clayton, 24 again, making the tackle.
Here's Florida State's defensive football team. You can see their linebackers are dropping. Their strong safety is moving to the outside, and as he moves to the outside, they throw the ball right underneath him to Brodsky. Nice throw.
It's another Miami first down. Kelly under pressure gets it off. Incomplete. It was intended for Rocky Belk, who was running the post pattern. Ron Hester, number 83, was right in Kelly's face. And Kelly, as you see, he has somewhat of a flak jacket on to protect those rib pads. Took a shot from Ron Hester.
You have to blitz a quarterback like Kelly some of the time. You just can't let him sit back there all day long and rush him with 3 and 4 men. And the closer he gets to your goal, the more you should blitz. And they came after him tough that time, and Hester got a shot at him. You need to hit him once in a while if you're going to play defense.
2nd and 10 from the Florida State 37. In and out of the hands of Rodriguez. Harvey Clayton, number 24, was right there to strip Mike Rodriguez of the football.
You can see he's throwing a post pattern to Rodriguez, and they're coming after him again. But this time they leave their back end. He picks up the extra man, and then he fires a nice-looking post pattern, and it's well defended, but it was close.
Another
flash play.
Another close play. Yes. Harvey Clayton preventing the reception. No flag thrown. It is 3rd down and 10. Still at the Florida State 37. We're in the 3rd quarter, tied at 13. They fake the draw to Haas. And he's sacked. Number 90, Allendale Campbell, and number 76, Alfonso Carricker, both in there to sack Kelly back at the 47-yard line. A loss of 10. It'll be 4th and 20.
This was a big play because it took him out of field goal range. He fakes the draw. As you can see, the rush is coming. He's holding the football, and he goes down under a heavy rush. But more important than that, Steve, it was a big play. It took away the field goal opportunity.
Greg LaBelle, number 5, into punt. And that is Cedric Jones, number 41, who is standing at his own 10-yard line. Drive that Jones picks off at the 15. He's tripped up. Or he might have gone a lot farther. A punt of 31 yards and a return of about 8 yards. 2:49 remaining in the 3rd quarter. I'll bet you that Herschel and the boys are getting fired up over in Jacksonville right now, and Florida will be ready for them. On 1st and 10. Stockstill firing it, and it was incomplete. The reception was made by Dennis McKinnon. You see Stockstill, who took a shot, still now just getting up. Jamie Boone was defending on the play, but it was out of bounds and incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
That's a very tough pass to throw, running full speed to your left. Hit a wide receiver who goes down about 18 yards, makes a move like he's going deep, and then comes back for the football right on the sideline. And Stockstill's had that pass about 4 or 5 times, but it's just been slightly out of bounds.
Florida State from their own 23 on 2nd and 10. Greg Allen. Allen has a hole. Allen to the 41-yard line before Ronnie Lippett knocks him down in the secondary. It's a first down for Florida State.
Now, they take the ball to the strong side on this play, but it's always always a bend back to the weak side. You can see as he goes all the way back, they take the lineman the way they want to go, and it opens up a tremendous hole here, and he goes all the way into the secondary before he's finally knocked down. Great statistics here, 78 yards and 15 carries.
The pitch back to Allen. Hurdles one defender and gets to midfield. A gain of 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2. Jamie Boone made the tackle in the secondary for Miami.
There's a pitch sweep. And looks like Allen's getting warmed up now. Looks like he's starting to get some running room, and he is running with some authority. Turns up inside on the power sweep and goes right over the top for about 9 yards, close to a first down. But I like the way he runs that football now. I mean, he's running with enthusiasm, and he's got a little running room, and Miami's got to tighten up a little bit. Oh, this youngster will run right through him, right down the field. He's a tough back.
He came into the game averaging 7.3 yards per carry. We have an injured Miami player on the field. David Jefferson, number 37, a senior defensive back from Hialeah, Florida, is the injured player for Miami. 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Miami and Florida State tied at 13 all.
This ball game's just about like we thought. Very close, tough, two well-coached football teams, and they're just sparring back and forth. Somebody just trying to get a big play or something that will give him a chance to win this football game, but it's going down to the wire.
You see Jefferson being helped from the field, and we'll take a moment to remind you that coming up tomorrow over most of these same ABC stations, it's College Football 81 with highlights of these games for you. Clemson, North Carolina, Texas, Houston. This game, Miami, Florida State, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio State, Minnesota, and Washington, UCLA. Be sure to check the local listings for the time in your area. 2nd down, 2 yards to go. Florida State at the 50-yard line. Allen trying to get the first down. May have fumbled the football. They say he was down at the 49-yard line of Miami. Scott Nicholas thinks he had a fumble recovery, but the official says no. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Here's the same play they ran a while ago, the pitch sweep, fullback leading through the hole, Whiting trying to block somebody, and there's no place to go. Chickalow, a whole bunch of white jerseys, pile him up right there, and he just couldn't make the first down. There was no place to run.
A little less than a yard to go, and you can see that Allen has made so much more yardage than the entire Miami team has been able to generate rushing. 3rd down and 1. Miami 6 of 12 on 3rd down conversions, and Whiting is stacked up very, very close. Scott Nicholas, number 66, one of the inside linebackers at 225 pounds, and Jay Brophy, number 54, who's also in there at linebacker, met him right there. And the official first signaled it was 4th down, then Stockstill said, I want a measurement, and they're going to give it. Tommy Miller had indicated 4th down, and Stockstill asked for the measurement.
You know, you can ask for a measurement anytime you want to, as long as it's realistic, and obviously this is a realistic request. I don't think it's a first down, but it's certainly close enough to measure, and I would guess that they'll go for this. Could be a key play in the ball game because you've got a great punter, but it looks like they're going to go for it here, Steve.
They are on 4th down, and as you saw, about a foot to go. Ball is resting just at the Miami 49. We have just 45 seconds left in the third quarter. The crowd comes to its feet as we are tied 13-13. Stockstill sneaking. And from our vantage point, he appears to have more than enough for the first down. It is a first down for Florida State. Bobby Bowden sending in the play with wide receiver Dennis McKinnon, a junior from Miami. As we look at some other scores.
The Cadets of West Point leading the Holy Cross football team, 13-0.
1st and 10, Florida State at the Miami 48. Stockstill to pass. He completes it to Zeke Moat, the tight end, and Moat breaks one tackle, finally wrapped up by Rodney Bellinger, number 4, who gets help from the free safety Freddie Marion. The clock running now as time will run out in the third quarter as we look at it one more time.
Here's a sprint draw pass. He sets up, and this time instead of going deep with the football, he hits the tight end in the flat, which he needs to do some because they're covering the people down deep in the seam very well. And this is a nice throw.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score tied between Florida State and Miami. NCAA college football will continue after this commercial message as well as a word from our local stations. We're tied at 13, 15 minutes to go. Steve Zabriskie along with Pepper Rogers, as well as our spotter Bill Friel, our statistician John Butera. The final 15 minutes, and Florida State on the move in Miami territory. Greg Allen, the ball carrier, and Allen gets across the 40. They'll mark it near the 38 of Miami. It'll be third down and about a yard and a half to go as we look at the third quarter statistics.
By the way, Steve, it's very nice of you all letting me out from behind the curtain for that little picture. I've been behind the curtain. It was very nice of you all.
Can you see all right?
Oh, yeah. It was very nice of you all let me just sneak out.
Third and 1. Allen again has the first down to the 32-yard line of Florida State, or rather Miami. Rodney Bellinger making the tackle along with Fred Marion. First and 10, Florida State at the Miami 32.
I like the way Allen's running now. He's running in the fourth quarter, and this is a great back has more chances in the fourth quarter probably any other time here, and he breaks a hole in the isolation and goes to the secondary where Bellinger makes a tackle, but it was a big play for Florida State, first down.
You can see Allen is very near the 100-yard mark. Stockstill on first and 10 gets hit as he unloads it deep, incomplete, intended for Phil Williams, who was running to the flag. Tim Flanagan, number 90, gave Stockstill a shot as he released that football, and it was just a bit overthrown, intended for Phil Williams.
That was a throwback pass route. He started to the strong side, faked Allen on sort of the sprint draw pass, and then threw the wide receiver on the other side on that corner route, and had him open, but that rush sometimes will change your throwing style.
Second down. 10 yards to go from the Miami 32. The sprint draw to Allen. Breaks one tackle in the backfield and picks up about 5, maybe 4 as he gets to the 28. Tripped up by Scott Nicholas, number 66, and Tony Chickolo, number 71, the nose guard.
This is that sprint draw look where they bend the ball back to the weak side, and he breaks the tackle. It could have been a no gain, but Chickolo, Nicholas make the hit, but it was a nice run by Allen, because when you break tackles in the backfield to make 4 or 5 yards, you're a football player. You can't always have the holes you want, and that was a nice run by Allen.
Allen now has carried 20 times for exactly 100 yards. Third down. Mike Whiting sweeping to the left, cutting it back up inside, and getting maybe only a yard, depending on where they mark the football, is near the 27 for a gain of 1. 93 Greg Brown and 71 Tony Chickolo making the tackle.
You know, Steve, sometimes people might wonder why you put the ball on a hash mark or on a hash mark for a field goal kick. But sometimes when you have a soccer kicker, they have a tendency to hook the ball to the left, and it's easier for them to make it from a hash mark than maybe it is from the other side. So this might be something they're doing on purpose. I don't know that, but there are kickers who feel more comfortable kicking from the left hash mark.
On 4th and 5, Mike Rendina, the freshman, is in. It'll be a 44-yard attempt. It's blocked. And recovered by Florida State. Rendina is on the football. The kicker, Mike Rendina, has it back around the 44-yard line of Miami. But Miami blocked it. It appeared as if Greg Brown, number 93, blocked Rendina's field goal attempt. 12 minutes, 26 seconds remaining in the football game. Miami will go back on offense. Still tied 13-13 here in Tallahassee.
Here's the kick. You can see, starts the kick. Greg Brown's going to block this kick with his left hand. I'm not sure the kick would have made it. It would look like a very low kick. I know it was low because I saw Coach Bowden later, but it was blocked by Greg Brown and stopped the possible field goal kick.
Greg Brown, number 93, breaking through from defensive tackle. It is first and 10 Miami from their own 44. Kelly firing it to Rodriguez. Incomplete, a little bit overthrown, and Rodriguez, in addition to having to leap for the ball, was looking back into the sun a bit. 23 Tracy Ashley and 24 Harvey Clayton were covering on the play. It'll be second and 10 Miami at their own 44. rushing yardage far in favor of Florida State. Miami, as you see, gained no yards rushing in the third quarter. But they are here to throw the football, and that's what they're doing here in the fourth quarter as well. Kelly gets it off. Speedy Neal out of the backfield has the first down. He's into Florida State territory, breaks the tackle and gets inside the 25.
That was a great play by Kelly. The all-out blitz was on. They had 8 people coming, and he dropped the ball off to Speedy Neal. And here, you can just see, watch them all coming. Everybody's coming after Kelly, and as he gets set and he sees them coming, he just drops it off, and there he goes down the sideline. There's no one to cover him because they're all rushing the passer, and it's a big play. Speedy Neal makes a big play.
They call him Speedy because when he was born, his mother was in labor for a very short time. On 1st and 10. Smokey Roan, the ball carrier, and Smokey gets very short yardage, and he was manhandled a bit by Ron Hester, number 83, along with Tommy Young and Mr. James Gilbert, number 51, the big 260-pound middle guard. Need of maybe a yard. It is second down, 9 yards to go from the 23-yard line of Florida State. 11 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in the game. We're tied at 13. Good protection over the middle, completes it to Rocky Belk, and Belk is down at the 6-yard line. Tracy Ashley, the strong safety, made the tackle. It's 1st and goal. Miami at the Florida State 6.
Well-timed pass. Kelly set up, and when you hit a man coming across the middle, you got to lead into the open zone. And Kelly's got time, plants his foot, fires the football, he throws that ball right into the open zone, and Belk makes a nice catch, first down before Ashley gets him. But that's a big play right there.
Kelly now 21 of 38 for 250 yards. 1st and goal from the 6. Smokey Roan to the outside, touchdown! Glenn Dennison, the tight end, with a big block on the corner, and Smokey Roan, Lorenzo. Smokey Roan takes it in from 6 yards out for a Miami touchdown. The Hurricanes now lead 19 to 13.
Here you see Smokey Roan going into the end zone. It's an off-tackle play, but he gets bounced outside, and he sees the hole closed up and goes to the outside, and there's no one there, and it's a touchdown for Smokey. Smokey wants to hit somebody, but they avoid him as he gets there. Big play for Miami.
Larry Brodsky with a good block as well. Dan Miller in to attempt the extra point. LaBelle puts it down, and it's good. We have 10 minutes and 47 seconds now remaining in the football game. Miami has come storming back on another impressive drive, and the Hurricanes have taken the lead. They've broken the 13-13 tie. They now lead 20 to 13 over Florida State. The fans come to their feet and chant FSU in an effort to get the Seminoles fired up as Miami has taken a 20 to 13 lead. Dan Miller kicks it off. Billy Allen is back deep to receive, and Allen will take it 1 yard deep in the end zone. Looking for a wedge, and he gets it out to about the 19 or 20 is all. They'll mark it near the 19. It'll be 1st and 10, Florida State at that point, as the Seminoles will be 81 yards away with 10 minutes and 40 seconds remaining on the clock as we look at the Miami scoring drive. And we want to remind you that before the end of the game, we'll be announcing the Chevrolet Most Valuable Players for each team, in whose name a $1,000 scholarship will be awarded from Chevrolet to their school's General Scholarship Fund. 1st and 10, Florida State at their own 19. Clock still pumping. Lofty one down the sideline, intended for Dennis McKinnon, and incomplete. Fred Marion was defending on the play along with Rodney Bellinger. It'll be 2nd down and 10, still at the 19-yard line.
Steve, they were trying to get a big play again on that first down. It was an out, a short down and out, and then he turned deep, but it was so well covered, there's really no chance for him to make the pass completion. I think that Florida State's got to be patient. They've got a lot of time. If they want to get back in this football game, you can't get it back all in one shot.
On 2nd down and 10. Stockstill with good protection, fires in the middle. It's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by number 17, Ronnie Lippett. And Lippett returns it inside the 25-yard line of Florida State. It appeared as if Scott Nicholas, number 66, got a hand on the football, and Lippett picked it off for the first turnover for Florida State today.
Yes, this is a big play right here. It's a three-step drop. It's that slant-in pattern they've been throwing. He's got nice protection. He throws the football, and it is tipped by Nicholas, and it's an interception. A nice play by the Miami football team. But I'll tell you what, when you throw the ball in the middle on a play down and you're in the field, you take a chance like that of it being tipped.
Ronnie Lippett, a junior out of Sebring, Florida, with a big interception. 1st and 10. Miami, Smokey Roan cutting it up inside and getting a couple of yards from the 25 down to the 23. It'll be 2nd down and 8 as Scott McLean, number 60, senior defensive end, made the tackle. The clock running with just about exactly 10 minutes remaining in the football game. Kelly, who has been outstanding throwing the football, leads him up on 2nd down and 8. Speedy Neal trying to find an opening. He cannot. Number 38, Ken Rowe, the inside linebacker, bounces him back. 250-pound Robert Speedy Neal ran into somebody who's probably just about as strong as he is.
I'm glad you told us why they call him Speedy, because when you weigh 250 pounds and if you're really speedy, I'm telling you, you're a real truck. Now, he's got good speed, but that Florida State defense that time reared its neck up and didn't give him anything. And Florida State needs to make a defensive stand here and stop them if they're going to stay in this ball game.
3rd down, 8 yards to go. Kelly firing it to Neal out of the backfield. 1st down. Neal breaks the tackle. Touchdown!
You have to give Kelly a lot of credit. He picked him out as an open receiver, but you have to give Speedy Neal a big plus there. That was a great run by him. He broke tackles. He didn't go down, and a guy who weighs 250 pounds in the open field is very difficult to tackle. And when Kelly goes back to pass, he's got nice protection. You got to give that line credit. They've given him a lot of time all day. Hits Neal in the flat. He makes a move here, goes by a defender. He goes over the top of another one. He breaks the leg of another one here, breaks through a tackle of another one, uses his legs, and goes in for a touchdown.
Miller is on to attempt the extra point. And it's good. And again, Miller remains perfect on the year. He has yet to miss one. Miami capitalizes on a big turnover. An interception by Ronnie Lippett, and they're threatening to blow it open with 8:54 remaining. It's 27-13, Miami over Florida State. There's the Miami scoring drive. They only had to go 25 yards following the interception by Ronnie Lippett. As Lippett ran it back to the 25, Kelly, 23-yard pass to Robert Speedy Neal for the touchdown. And a big, big play that has given Miami a 27-13 lead here with 8:54 remaining. Miller kicks it off. Cedric Jones will take it at the 8-yard line and cannot. Now he's going to throw a pass. Flips the ball out. It's Greg Allen. Allen has one man to beat. Hauled down at the 35-yard line of Miami.
That is one of the great plays from this part of the country that has been used. It was originally used by the Tampa football team, and they used that lateral when Bill Peterson was coaching here. It's a great play on the kickoff.
Cedric Jones throws it to Greg Allen, and Lawrence Thompson saves a touchdown for Miami.
All right, here's the kickoff, and Jones has a great throwing arm. He never misses. Their coaches said he has a great throwing arm. He drills the ball over to Greg Allen. They form a wall, and he's down the sideline, and it's a great run. Now, Miller made a nice play to make him cut back. Could have been a play all the way.
1st and 10, Florida State, just outside the 35 of Miami. Stockstill with a deep retreat. Over the middle, incomplete. Picked up by the tight end, Zeke Mowat. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver, and Zeke Mowat, the tight end, takes it down to the 16-yard line before Fred Marion runs him out of bounds.
They've getting a few breaks here now. The ball was tipped by a Florida State receiver into the tight end's hands, Mowat, and that might be a play that gives them a turnaround and generates some excitement. You see, Florida State needs some big plays now to get their sideline back up the crowd. Here we go. There's a throw over the middle. I believe that's Greg Allen. And it's tipped to Mowat, and he goes down the sideline for a first down before Marion tackles him.
Greg Allen, the ball carrier, trapped in the backfield. Breaking through, number 87, Leon Evans, a 6'7", 275-pound defensive tackle. And Allen is hauled down for a loss of 2. It'll be second down and 12. The ball now back near the 18-yard line.
Momentum is everything in a football game, and from the time that Florida State had the field goal blocked, it's just completely turned around. But this could be a turning point for the Florida State football team also because it's given them a big lift.
Second and 12. Florida State trailing 27-13 here in the fourth quarter. Penalty marker is down. Greg Allen cutting it up inside, getting inside the 10-yard line. It appeared as if Miami jumped offside. Number 62, Tony Fitzpatrick, making the tackle on Greg Allen. And Bob Nelson, number 91, appeared to have moved prematurely in the Miami defensive line. The option, of course, will rest with Florida State and quarterback Rick Stockstill.
Okay, here we go. You see the power sweep. I believe Miami was offside, and Greg Allen follows his blockers extremely well. He hits the crack there, turns up the field, but he had good blocking, and you can see he makes 2 or 3 extra yards after he's hit. And that's the kind of back that you got to have in a tough football game like this.
He's offside, we're fine. Third down.
After all that discussion, referee Tommy Miller tells us that the offside penalty is declined. Florida State takes the play, and they will have a third down and 2 yards to go at the 8-yard line of Miami. 7 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the football game. Miami, with 2 big touchdowns here, has taken a 27-13 lead. Florida State is coming back. Allen again, the ball carrier. Struggling for yardage, very near the first down yardage as he needed to cross the 6-yard line. It will be close. Rodney Bellinger, number 4, and 31 Freddie Marion came up from the secondary and pushed him back. But it will depend on where they mark it, and the officials have called a timeout for a measurement.
I haven't seen a better safety man than Marion. He makes big league hits. He doesn't duck his head when he tackles. He runs up, he wraps his arms around the ball carrier, and they stop. And not only is he a good pass defender, but he's a good tackler. What do you think they'll go for it here, Steve? What do you think?
I don't think there's any choice, Pepper.
No, that's a little joke we're pulling the press back. No, but I would say that Florida State is in a crucial situation here. If they make this first down and go in for a score, they'll be right back in this ball game.
That's for sure. They have it fourth down and about a foot to go, as you saw the referee indicate. They are just outside the Miami 6-yard line. They trail by 14 with 6 minutes, 50 seconds now remaining in the game. Stockstill to throw. Complete to Childers in the end zone. Touchdown! Senior tight end Sam Childers from right here in Tallahassee, number 84, with a diving reception of Rick Stockstill's 6-yard touchdown pass.
Here we go. He fakes the sweep. He fakes like he's going to run the sweep to the tailback Allen. Fullback makes a nice block there, and he just throws the ball over. And what a great catch. Fantastic. Here we go. Back to throw the ball again. Right over the middle. Using the hands for the score.
That is good. Zeke Mowat. That is Sam Childers. Florida State going for 2. Stockstill faking. Looking for somebody. Firing in the end zone. Incomplete. Knocked down by number 4, Rodney Bellinger. The pass was intended for Dennis McKinnon in the end zone. So with 6:46 remaining in the game, Florida State has come back. Do not get the conversion, however. It's 27-19. Steve Zabriskie along with Pepper Rogers for the final 6:46 of this football game, and it is far from over yet. Miami, capitalizing on a turnover, came back with a couple of touchdowns here late But Florida State on this drive, after a great play on the kickoff return, has pulled now to within 8 points. Number 20, Rocky Belk is back deep as they're expecting an onside kick, but they do not get it. Rendina kicks it to Belk at the 5-yard line. Nice move by Rocky Belk. He has an open field and only the kicker to beat. And Rendina makes the tackle and rides him out of bounds. Miami will have excellent field position as they'll have the ball near midfield. 6:38 now remaining in the game. And Rocky Belk, who has not been returning kickoffs, does a pretty good job his first time out.
Well, this is sort of an unusual kickoff return because they've got everybody up front watching for the onside kick, and it looked like Florida State overran the ball carrier a little bit. He had to tried to use his old stiff arm there, and he did, but it was a nice play to save the touchdown there.
They mark it just outside the Miami 49. It is 1st and 10. The pitch back to Smokey Rome. Slips down as he gets into Florida State territory near the 47, running to the short side of the field, covered by 51 James Gilbert, the nose guard, and 33 James Harris up from the secondary. There's the situation, the time remaining, and our score here in the fourth quarter.
At the 47-yard line.
Second down, 7 yards to go from the Florida State 47. Good protection. Over the middle, incomplete. His intended receiver, Rocky Belk, slipped down as the pass was thrown a bit behind him. Larry Harris, number 30, was defending on the play. It'll be 3rd and 7, still from the Florida State 47. Don't forget, coming up next here on ABC, the national telecast is number 4 ranked Georgia. The Bulldogs, led by Herschel Walker and Buck Blue and company, go against the Florida Gators and the run and shoot offense of Charlie Pell from Jacksonville. Right here on ABC, next over most of these stations. 3rd and 7. Chris Hobbs, the ball carrier on a delay, has the first down and is down to the 36-yard line of Florida State. Jarvis Corsi, number 64, made the tackle along with number 30, Larry Harris. It's a first down for Miami near the 35 of the Seminoles.
This was a good call. 3rd down and about 6. Sort of a sprint draw type play. Makes a first down Hobbs, and that was an excellent call, but also well blocked by the Miami offensive line of scrimmage.
Senior Chris Hobbs is also from right here in Tallahassee. Hobbs again the ball carrier. Gets around the corner and picks up 3 or 4 as he gets down near the 30 before Ron Hester, number 83, and number 33, James Harris, make the tackle. It's a gain of about 4 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6 just outside the Florida State 31. You see the clock running near the 5-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Tailback diving, but short of the first down marker. They will mark it at the 26. It'll be 3rd down and about a half yard to go. Ron Hester, 83, tripped him up.
This is an isolation play. The rush coming up the middle, and what they're really trying to do now is make first downs. And he's almost makes the first down here, but Hester trips him up. And Miami's doing a good job with their offensive line now because they've got to do it if they will control this football and not get it back to Florida State.
3rd down, less than a yard to go. Speedy Neal diving near the 35 appears to have enough for the first down. It is a first down for Miami. James Gilbert, 51, the nose guard, and Scott McLean make the tackle. Here's what's happening with a Florida A&M score. Florida A&M is also located here in Tallahassee. They're in the 3rd quarter of that ball game. A lot of big games in Florida today.
Yes, sir, and we've got another big one coming up. Gators and the Bulldogs over in Jacksonville.
Miami leading by 8 points, 3 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the game. 1st and 10 at the Florida State 35. Chris Hobbs slips. James Gilbert, the nose guard, wraps him up along with number 79, Gary Futch, the senior defensive tackle of Ocala.
they have to throw the football, they will, but they certainly don't want to.
Second down, just a little more than 10 yards to go. Mark Rush breaking through and picking up yardage inside the 20. They'll mark it at the 19, where it'll be 3rd down and 4.
They're fighting for field goal position as well as a touchdown. They've got a situation here where they've got a great kicker in Miller, and they've got an 8-point lead, and a field goal would be just about as good as a touchdown. So what they're trying to do is eat up time, not give the Florida State football team a chance here to get the football back with much time, and even if they just get a field goal out of this drive.
We have a Florida State player injured on the play. Ron Hester, number 83, their excellent senior linebacker from Umatilla, Florida, who made the tackle on Mark Rush, is still down on the field at the 20-yard line and shaken up. And again, we remind you, we'll be announcing the Chevrolet Most Valuable Players before the end of this game. A most valuable player for each team, in whose name a $1,000 scholarship will be awarded from Chevrolet to each school's general scholarship fund. Mark Rush at 6'3" and 210 is a pretty big back, and he ran head-on into Ron Hester, who has Rush outweighed a little bit, and Hester now is coming off under his own power.
He has played some football game today.
Yes, he has. Outstanding football game. We remind you that coming up next Saturday here on ABC, it'll be a similar day to today, a regional national doubleheader, a regional doubleheader, I should say. Regionals at noon Eastern Time, followed by another set of regional telecasts beginning at 3:45 Eastern Time. A regional doubleheader of NCAA football action for you next Saturday right here on ABC. Be sure to check your local listings when the games are announced sometime on Monday. They fake the end around. Kelly still has it. Under pressure, throwing it out of bounds and incomplete, just in an effort to get the ball off without having it intercepted. Glenn Dennison, the tight end, to whom he faked the end around, was the receiver on the play, but Kelly threw that one away.
He threw it away, but that was a very dangerous play because the fact that he could have been thrown for a big loss. And when you're thrown for a big loss on a play like that, it might take you out of field goal range. So even though he did get rid of the ball, which was a good play, it could have been a little dangerous.
And now Dan Miller, their fine senior kicker, is on to attempt another field goal. This one will be a 36-yard attempt, as Greg LaBelle will put it down at the 26-yard line. Line drive shot, no good, missed it to the left. The Seminoles of Florida State will get the football back with 2 minutes and 18 seconds remaining. They are trailing by 8 points. They'll have it at their own 20-yard line as we look at our score here in the fourth quarter. And now we will announce to you the Chevrolet most valuable players for each team. For the University of Miami quarterback Jim Kelly, who's had an outstanding day throwing the football, picking up 273 yards passing, and Greg Allen, the freshman tailback, who has the football and now gives it to Cedric Jones. Jones wants to throw the halfback pass. He's in trouble, and he'll be dropped back around the 10-yard line. The ball came loose, but they say he was down. Bob Nilsson, number 91, making the tackle on Jones, and he's a good passer, Pepper, but he couldn't find anybody open.
Well, he was looking for the quarterback. It was a pitch sweep to Allen, who handed the ball off to Jones going the opposite direction. He was going to throw the football to the quarterback, who had pitched the ball off, and it was a wild play, and he kept trying to get the ball to him, but he couldn't because Miami had it covered.
Allen, of course, our Chevrolet most valuable player for Florida State, with 23 carries for 107 yards as we look at the play once again.
As you can see, Jones has got the football, and now he's going to try and throw to the quarterback.
On second down, Stockstill looking for someone open, throws it complete to Phil Williams, number 87, at the 24-yard line. I don't know whether he got out of bounds. He did not. The clock is continuing to run. Now Florida State calls a timeout with 1 minute and 17 seconds remaining in the football game. 27-19, Miami leading Florida State. The Seminoles have the football, but still relatively deep in their own territory with 1:17 left on the clock. We have 1:17 left on the clock. It is 3rd down and 5. Florida State with 2 timeouts remaining now. They have the ball at their own 25. Stockstill firing it over the middle, and it's complete. Coming out of the backfield, Ricky Williams, number 44. appears to have enough yardage for the first down as he's out to the 32, tackled by Isaiah West, number 55, and Florida State going without the huddle.
Lester Williams put a great pass rush on that time. He nailed Stockstill just to through the football.
First and 10 from the 32. Stockstill looking for the square out. Williams drops the football. The clock will stop. It's probably a good thing he did because Tim Flanagan was right on him, would have tackled him inbounds. The clock would have kept running. We want to thank our spotter, Bill Friel, our statistician, John Butera, and the assistance that we've received from Miami Sports Information Director Ron Steiner and his assistant, Carl Schmidt, and Florida State Sports Information Director Mark Carlson, as well as head coaches Bobby Bowden of Florida State and Howard Schnellenberger of Miami. Stockstill to pass once again. Flipping it out to Mike Whiting coming out of the backfield. Whiting cutting it upfield and gets across the 35. The clock is still running. They're trying to go without the huddle. It'll be third down and about 5 yards to go from the 37-yard line. Stockstill looking to throw it out. It's complete for a first down at the 45-yard line of of Miami to number 82, Tony Johnson. Ronnie Lippett made the tackle on the play. The clock stops for movement of the chains. 34 seconds remaining in the football game. First and 10 from the 45 of Miami. Incomplete to stop the clock now with 30 seconds remaining. Intended for Johnson once again. Coverage of today's game was produced by Eleanor Sanger-Rieger. Directed by Ralph Abraham. Our technical director today, Werner Gunther. Associate director, Dennis Mazzocco. Our technical manager, Sandy Sandberg. Our unit manager, Murray Schwartz. And the assistant to the producer, Jimmy Roberts.
Going down right to the end, it's Florida State never gives up. They're battling to get back in this ball game, at least tied up.
Second and 10 from the Miami 45. Stockstill going for it all down the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Jesse Huster, number 4, a freshman wide receiver from Belgrade, Florida, who came into the game. Ronnie Lippett, number 17, and Fred Marion, 31, were back defending on the play as it was out of bounds at the 1-yard line and incomplete to boot. Third and 10 at the Miami 45. Now 23 seconds remaining in the game as Bobby Bowden sends in the play.
Coach Bowden hadn't lost many games here at this stadium since he's been the football coach.
No, but you know what? Miami has won more games here in Tallahassee against Florida State than Florida State has won against Miami here. It's complete to Tony Johnson over the middle. A gain of 5 to the 40-yard line. The clock is running. Now, a timeout is called by Florida State with 14 seconds remaining in the game. Florida State will have the ball at the Miami 40. It'll be fourth down and about 5 yards to go.
I don't think they have much of a choice. I think they've got to put the ball up long and hope that they can hit a pass or get a pass interference or something will happen because they've got 14 seconds left on the clock.
At least 2 plays.
At least 2 plays. But a field goal is not what they need. They've got to have a touchdown and a 2-point play to tie this football game. And so Miami's going to be defending. They're going to be defending against the long pass, backed up. But it's going to be a big play for a win or a big play for Miami for their win.
Both coaches have been doing some coaching today. Tight ball game is often where some coaching can make the difference, brother.
Yes, of course, right now it's kind of hard to coach a 40-yard pass for a touchdown, but I love the way coaches call plays and then shove the guy in the game. It's like...
You got it.
You got it.
You got it down.
Hit a 40-yard touchdown.
Fourth and 5. They need to pick up the first down to keep the football, and they do. Dennis McKinnon with a nice reception at the 30-yard line of Miami. Defending on the play was Tim Flanagan, the defensive end who had dropped off. The clock stops with 9 seconds remaining. It's first and 10 at the 30-yard line now of Miami.
At the 30-yard line.
Excellent throw. He kept his feet in bounds and caught the ball and went out of bounds to stop the clock. And this puts him about 10 yards closer to a touchdown. This is a tough time for both coaches. They're both trying to figure out ways to stop the other team.
Miami leading 27-19. 9 seconds remaining. Florida State. Stockstill throwing long and into the end zone. Incomplete and almost intercepted by number 4, Rodney Bellinger. The intended receiver was Jesse Hester, the freshman wide receiver who brought the play into the game. The clock stopped with 2 seconds remaining.
Well, Rodney had a chance to put the ball game away there and drop the pass. That gives Florida State one more shot, and one more shot sometimes is all you need. And if I were sitting on that sideline over there, I would be sweating it out on both sides, because both teams are very capable of making a big play here. Now, he's calling timeout. Of course, I really don't understand why they're calling timeout here. They should, but they don't need another timeout. The game's over after this play.
There are only 2 seconds remaining. This, barring a penalty, will be the final play of the football game, and barring a touchdown by Florida State, Miami will have held on to win. The only way that Florida State can prevent a loss right now is to score and go for 2 and be successful there as well.
They're close enough to score. They can throw the ball in the end zone from here and make it a big play, and it'll have to be a big play because I don't think he'll be wide open. And I would hate to be throwing against that Marion down the middle, because he is some center field.
Well, he is. That big interception by Ronnie Lippett of Miami, who returned it down to the 25-yard line and set up Robert Neal's 23-yard screen pass run on the pass play from Kelly for the touchdown, really is the difference in the game right now.
You know something, but Florida State, in losing this football game, if they do lose, they've had an extra point block, they've had a field goal block, and that's 4 points right there, and this game would be a different ball game.
That's for sure. This may be the final play of the football game from the 30-yard line. Time has run out. Over the middle, Stockstill, incomplete. Intended for Dennis McKinnon, and Freddie Marion was there once again, defending on the play for Miami. Time has run out, and the Hurricanes of Miami, who upset Penn State last week in the Orange Bowl, have come up here to Tallahassee and defeated Florida State 27-19 in an excellent football game. Stay with us because our doubleheader is continuing. We're going to go and join the Clemson, North Carolina game for you and bring you the end of that contest. Again, another most important ball game in college football this afternoon. And then coming up at 3:45 Eastern Time, it'll be Georgia and Florida as Herschel Walker and company, number 4 rated in the country, go against the Gators of Florida in Jacksonville. This is Steve Zabriskie saying so long for Pepper Rogers from Tallahassee, Florida. Let's go now to Bill Fleming and Ara Parsegian at North Carolina.